So this New Year's Eve, police will be in the crowds, including those undercover units. Although there are no credible threats, security is a top priority like every single year in the past. Bomb-sniffing dogs, drone units, those will be spotted here as well. And state agencies will monitor the airports, the bridges, and the tunnels, and the mass transit system.
Earlier this month, the driver did plow into a German Christmas market. Barriers have been set up around New York's Times Square. Many on Puerto Rico will ring in the new year in the dark as much of the island deals with a mass power outage.
One of the private companies that runs Puerto Rico's power grid and distribution says 90% of the island's 1.5 million customers are without power. The massive outage is being blamed on the failure of an underground power line. Officials at LUMA say they are restoring power in the quickest and safest way possible, but it could take a couple of days. The island's electrical issues have become well known after their aging infrastructure took a huge hit during Hurricane Maria in 2017. Since then, LUMA and another company have taken over power management from the island's Electric Power Authority, but residents have been unsatisfied, and the newly elected governor has proposed finding new companies to operate the grid. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A team of U.S. investigators, including representatives from Boeing, have examined the site of a plane crash that killed 179 people in South Korea. There were only 2 survivors of that crash. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not your typical start to winter in the Midwest. 41 degrees, rainy in downtown Indianapolis. The city's pretty much surrounded by rain when you check the radar. 30 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. It's been a wet and mild holiday season, but Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service says it will start to turn cold.
Going into the rest of the week, it'll be overall dry and colder, kind of seasonally cold, highs 30s, lows in the 20s. But there could be a period of some light snow.
There could be some snow moving in Thursday, as he mentioned, and hanging around into Friday, and that could be followed up by another winter storm next week. Marion County is going to begin requiring pet owners to microchip their pets next year. Kurt Darling reports.
The new ordinance goes into effect January 1. Indianapolis Animal Care Services will spend a year educating pet owners about microchipping before any citations are issued. The whole point of the ordinance is to help relieve pressure on shelters in the county so that if a pet gets lost and is found, it can easily be returned to their owner, thus freeing up more space in shelters. Chipping your pet is an easy process, and most places can do it for as much as $10. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indianapolis Colts have a culture problem. Someone asked that question to their head coach Shane Steichen yesterday while he was talking about his team's loss to the New York Giants from last Sunday. Steichen said, no, there's no culture issues.
There's going to be ups and downs, whether it's on the field, off the field, and how you handle them and how you react to them. And you got to move forward with those things. I think it happens around the league to teams, and you got to handle it the best way you can handle it and put your best foot forward.
One more game left on the season for Indianapolis. It's against the Jacksonville Jaguars this Sunday, although Indy has already been eliminated from the postseason. And a study's determined that Columbus, Indiana is the safest small city in America. Sasha Nixon reports.
Money Geek evaluated national FBI crime data to determine the safest small towns and cities. Small cities had a population of 30,000 to 100,000 people. In Columbus, the average cost of crime is about $22 per person. In Indianapolis, the cost of crime per capita is about $4,175. One other town in the study's top 5, Zionsville, Indiana. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is expected to run out of money in less than 10 years? And according to Barron's, an average couple could lose up to $16,500 every year in Social Security income. Multiply that by 10 or 20 years, and it could easily add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why it's critical you have the right strategy to file for Social Security. Discover how you could squeeze every nickel out of your benefits with a free, customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill, and you can too. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-648-5120. Call Bill at 317-648-5120.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Looking at the south side. Crash. Westbound 465 at I-65. It's on the shoulder. No delay. A little bit of a slowdown as you make your way through. And in Hancock County, eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic from 200 West out to Fortville Pike for a 12-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by Inbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Rain showers will be possible on and off throughout the day today. Temperatures fall into the lower 40s this afternoon, and the winds pick up. Could be gusting at times near 20 and 25 miles per hour. I'm Wish TV storm tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock! Happy New Year! Almost. It's New Year's Eve. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out, and we've got a crew hanging out in studio. Jeff Boggs, not Kenny Rogers, on social media, and the boy is here, the oldest boy, Chris Hammer, in studio. Now, gentlemen, we're going to have fun today. The last thing I want is some sort of breaking news to happen where we've got to flip into serious mode because, damn it, it's been a crazy year, and I am ready to have some fun this afternoon, this evening. Now, Jeff, we'll start with you. Are you a big New Year's guy?
You know, I used to be. I think the older you get, the more you're just like, I want to sit on my couch with breadsticks and my dog and maybe watch Squid Game. Like, that's exciting to me.
You're fired up about the new Squid Game.
I am fired up. I think it's a great show. But for me personally, you know, I don't really want to be out there driving. I don't want to be at a bar. I just want to get to the next day when we can watch bowl games.
Yes. Now, Chris Hammer, you are 20 years old. Are you in the phase of tonight's going to be a night, we're going to have chicks come over to the house, we're going to have all kinds of shenanigans, and we're going to get loose? Is that you?
I do have people come over to the house, and we do throw a party at the house, but I'm not one of these guys that like wants to go out, like, you know, drive around the city for New Year's, because like you said, there's a lot of amateur drivers out there on the road tonight. But we get fireworks. You know, we do a big party at the house for New Year's. I like to do that every year.
I love a 20-year-old just gave a lecture to longtime drivers in the city of Indianapolis. You're amateurs. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground, but you're right. Like, and I'm sure Matt Bear's going to talk about this when he does traffic later on. We always say that New Year's Eve and St. Patrick's Day is amateur hour, because people who don't know how to handle their booze, they get out there, they make the bad decision to drive, and next thing you know, Jeff, we've got Matt Bear talking about all kinds of crap on the roads.
It's true. It can be dangerous. You know, the same thing happens on Thanksgiving, if you think about it. People who have not trained for the entire year to down 10,000 calories, after dinner, they're out there on the road driving. They could be hypoglycemic. So, yeah, everyone, please be careful. It's the quickest way to absolutely destroy your life.
Did not think we were going down that route, but damn right.
And Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. A way to celebrate tonight. So if you're just going to have people over and you don't really want to watch Ryan Seacrest, or, you know, maybe your team that you're rooting for is getting blown out in a bowl game, you put something on Twitter earlier today, and we retweeted it at Hammer and Nigel, Jeff. I thought this was brilliant. The Hoosiers timeline.
Well, yeah, I mean, this comes from a guy who's, you know, had years and years now of not wanting to go out, so I have to come up with other ways to get excited for the big countdown. So what I did was, if you start the movie Hoosiers at 10:07 p.m. and 48 seconds tonight, you'll ring in the new year just as Jimmy Chitwood is hitting the winning shot.
So this is what's going to sound like as midnight is approaching here, which is a couple seconds to go.
Boom.
Happy New Year!
You're going into 2025 with that? Come on.
All right, there is a right answer, Chris. Hoosiers, the greatest sports movie of all time, or not?
That's a tough one because, like, personally,
You've already missed it.
Okay,
You've
hold on.
already missed
I'm
the
saying,
question.
Yeah, it depends on if we're just sports movies. Yes, but like I will say, my favorite movie of all time happens to also be a sports movie in Major League. Personally, that's my favorite. But I know for a lot of people, a lot of basketball people, it is Hoosiers.
Okay, first of all, no. Second of all, I'm already feeling that House Hammer over here. You know, you guys know what you do. You know what you're doing. Tonight, you both have the same favorite movie. So I'm going to have to stand firm and say Hoosiers is a no-brainer, the best sports movie of all time. And the great thing is I know Allison agrees with me.
And it's weird that we're talking about this because there's an actor that connects a lot of these movies, Chelsea Ross. This is the second time today I've talked about Chelsea Ross. I did the sports betting podcast, The Degenerates Next Door, with Rob earlier, which is now available, featuring all the college football playoff games. But Chelsea Ross, he was Harris in Major League, which I love. He was in the movie Hoosiers. He wanted to be the coach. Hey, just leave the ball. He was in Hoosiers. And also in Rudy, he was the evil Dan Devine, which Dan Devine always hated that movie. Back when he was alive, he did some interview with a sports radio station in Ohio and said, I totally had every intention of playing Rudy. They made me to be the biggest jerk in the world in that movie.
Now, I wonder, Chris, if you are wavering on Hoosiers being the greatest sports movie of all time, I think it's an age thing. Because I don't, you know, I was a young kid when that came out, and I went to go see it on a Tuesday night, and it changed my life. And then I went back and saw it on a Thursday night. So you didn't really have that.
No, I think my first time watching it was with my dad over here when I was like in 5th grade, just on a random night. But I will say the movie, like in my generation, does not get enough credit. Like I don't think my generation understands really what it's about. They don't know the backstory.
Your generation eats Tide Pods.
That's true.
Yeah, we're interesting characters to say the least.
And TikTok dances, lots of TikTok dances.
God, terrible, just terrible.
Did your dad openly weep while he was watching the movie Hoosiers?
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Awesome.
Yes, for sure. And every time we make a little trip down south, whether we're going to Cincinnati or getting on 74 to ultimately go to Rocky Top, you pass Milan, Indiana. And that's where you've got to point out, even though I've done this a million times and everyone in my family is sick of me doing it, hey, what's important about Milan? You got to let them know. 1954. It's Hoosier lore. And say what you want, I think the movie Hoosiers based upon the Milan Miracle. Some people would say no, but I don't want to hear their crap.
Just to wrap it up, I'm glad we can all agree Hoosiers is the greatest sports movie of all time.
Greatest movie of all time. All right, so I will see your Hoosiers that you're going to start tonight at 10:07 p.m., and I will raise you playing Phil Collins In the Air Tonight. If you start that song at 11:56 and 40 seconds, right at the stroke of midnight, you hear this. What a way to ring in the new year, right?
Awesome.
This one's been around for a while. If you start the movie Forrest Gump at exactly 10:38 and 57 seconds tonight, you can ring in the new year with Lieutenant Dan and Forrest at the bar hanging out. This one may be my favorite. If you start the original OxyClean commercial with Billy Mays at 11:58 and 50 seconds exactly, at the stroke of midnight, you get the double thumbs up from Billy Mays. What a way to start a new year by the late Billy Mays giving you a thumbs up.
It's very cool. You know, going back to Forrest Gump really quick, would you guys watch a Netflix movie based on the lives of the two girls who were in that bar? Like, I think I would. I would watch an 8-episode breakdown of how did they get there and what did they do after.
I think they probably live in Beech Grove, don't they, Chris? Like, you've probably ran into those chicks before.
I totally would not doubt that. They're probably out there on Main Street somewhere.
All right, a couple more. Let's do a couple more. This and again, this is for anyone who's planning on just staying at home tonight, maybe wants to spice up their New Year's, with the cool countdown. If Hoosiers isn't your taste, may I suggest The Karate Kid.
Oh.
If you start the movie The Karate Kid at 2 hours and 6 minutes and 26 seconds before midnight, you'll ring in the new year at the exact moment Daniel LaRusso kicks Johnny in the face. Boom! Happy
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
The confetti flies, everybody kisses. And I'm sorry, I've made this case before, but the real villain in that movie is Ralph Macchio. Because here's this cool kid from California. He's got a nice girlfriend. He's got good buddies. He does karate. Here comes this mouthy little New Jersey kid coming in, trying to steal his girl, screws up his bag of weed at the party. Like, you're ruining his senior year just because you want to show how New Jersey you are. I was rooting for Johnny Lawrence to win that thing.
Well, the older you get, you realize some of your 80s heroes, kind of were jerks. Luke Skywalker, kind of a jerk, so can I do another one? Do you mind? Because I have a couple of these.
Please.
For let's say movies aren't your thing. 80s music. If you start the song Separate Ways by Journey at exactly 11:55 p.m. and 6 seconds tonight, the last thing you hear in 2024 is Steve Perry yelling. And then the first thing you hear in 2025 is also Steve Perry yelling. Ball drop.
New year
2025. And you're off and running.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that one, and I've done that one before. So it really, if you want to time it, you can you can really spice things up.
What if you're into politics? What if you're somebody that's like, you know what? I'm not much of a movie buff. I'm not really into music at all. But this was a fun year if you're a Trump supporter. What can they do?
Interesting. I mean, I didn't have anything prepared for this, but off the top of my head, if you take the second presidential debate between Trump and Hillary in 2016, and you start at 21 minutes and 5 seconds, I believe, before midnight, you get to start the new year off with Donald Trump ending Hillary Clinton's political career.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Happy New Year, everybody!
So there are a number of ways you can celebrate and have a good time tonight. Now, speaking of Donald Trump, we're being told there's going to be a big rager down at Mar-a-Lago tonight. And joining us now on the hotline to tell us all about what we can expect, ladies and gentlemen, the 45th president and the soon-to-be 47th president, Donald Trump.
Happy New Year, you big sacks of crap. Hammer, I hope you enjoyed the state of Florida. Hey, do me a favor and wear pants next time. You almost made my cleaning staff go blind.
Sorry.
I hear Jeff Boggs is on the show today. I never cared for his work. The comedic writing of Jeff Boggs is what Tom Homan uses to piss off gang members he is about to deport. I would tell Chris Hammer that the only person allowed to get his unqualified son a big-time job is Sleepy Joe Biden. Now, on to the big party tonight.
Okay.
Tonight at Mar-a-Lago. It's going to be amazing. All of the women that have been allegedly sexually harassed in Joe Hogsett's office will be here. We're oiling them all up, and they will be filming a new season of The Apprentice.
All right.
It's going to be huge. I'm hoping to have a fog hat cover band and all the Big Macs you can eat. Oh, and at the stroke of midnight, we have Chris Christie in a diaper playing the role of Baby New Year. It really is going to be classy.
Sure.
Okay, I have to go. I'm hearing that Tom Homan is trying to deport Elon Musk from the party. AI, Trump out.
That sounds like a rager to me.
I love it.
Sounds like a rager. Matt Baer, what's going on?
Southside crash, westbound 465 at I-65 on the shoulder, no delay. Also a crash reported going northbound 65 at Raymond Street. And again on the shoulder, according to the report. We have a crash on the south end of downtown. This is Madison Avenue at McCarty Street. Traffic sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
42, got some light rain at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's our year in review show, so throughout the afternoon, we're going to be talking about things that have happened in the last year. Feel free to weigh in, and if we can get the phones working a little bit later, maybe a special New Year's Eve edition of Caller Roulette. Don't go anywhere. Jeff Boggs is here. Chris Hammer is here. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Carrie Stacy for Cardwell Do It Best Home Center, just south of the Gateway Arch on Indy's South Side. Your discount roofing headquarters. Stop in for wholesale and factory direct pricing on the roofing shingles and supplies you need at the price you love. They offer dimensional and 3-tab shingles at low prices. Cardwell also carries a full line of best look quality paints produced by Sherwin-Williams, America's largest paint manufacturer, with paint and primer all in one. Cardwell also carries a full line of Hillman fasteners. And for winter, snow shovels, rock salt, and ice melter all in stock. At Cardwell Do It Best, you'll also find a full line of lawn and garden supplies, plumbing, electrical, with lumber and building materials too. Cardwell Home Center. Shop online at cardwellhomecenter.com with over 67,000 products available and free shipping to the store. Cardwell Do It Best, 3205 Madison Avenue, just south of the Gateway Arch on Indy's South Side, serving the greater Indianapolis community since 1945.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
It's a new year. It's time to get your home Zero-Resified. Call Zero-Res and take 24% off all services for this month. Book online anytime at ZeroResIndy.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Happy New Year from the Hammer and Nigel Show. So, man, there were a long list of awesome people that we lost this past year, right? Got to bring it down just a little bit here, but like you can't have a year in review show if you don't talk about the people that have kicked it over the last 364 days. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read a name, okay? And Jeff or Chris, if you've got something to add here, just jump in, okay? Because we got quite the laundry list of people we've lost. This one hurt me. Carl Weathers, 76 years old. Now, Chris, I'll go to you on this one. Is he Apollo Creed or is he Chubbs Peterson to you from Happy Gilmore?
To me, he'll always be Apollo Creed. I think that's his main role. I love Chubbs Peterson, but Apollo Creed, that's who he is. That's who I think of when I hear his name.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely Apollo Creed, maybe even Action Jackson.
Right.
Really, I mean, that was his big starring vehicle. But Chubb's an incredible role. But, I mean, my goodness, Apollo Creed. And you just think, had he thrown in the towel 30 seconds earlier?
You know what, though? Everybody gives Rocky crap for that. There's a referee in that ring, too. Like, you had every bit of power to stop that fight. You saw Drago beating the hell out of Apollo Creed. Rocky takes the heat, and they're trying to make him feel bad. But what sanctioning body gave this referee a license?
Well, it was an unsanctioned fight, I believe. But still, Rocky, if you are in the corner, if you're the manager of that boxer, which I believe he was, you stop the fight.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not all on Rocky.
We can agree to disagree. It's fine.
Toby Keith passed away at the age of 62. Toby Keith was country music, right? You can agree to that, right, Jeff?
He was about the coolest. If you remember when that guy got into it with the Dixie Chicks, and
right.
It was so fun to be like, yeah, I'm on his side. And I saw Toby five times in concert. A gentleman who I produced the show Nashville Star with did all of his music videos. So there are some stories about Toby, and everyone in country music knows the stories, and it only makes them cooler.
Toby looks like the kind of guy that could drink a beer or two.
Yeah, and go play the college football spring game. You know, like
Right.
like that's who he was. And not to, I don't want to get off track here. You look at Toby Keith and you look at country music dudes today, it's like a different species.
Now, you don't like that new country, there guys in skinny jeans twerking crap, right?
No, that's
because you
stupid
like
and
a
weird.
good trip to Nashville.
I do
You
like
like
a
to
trip to
go down
Nashville,
to
yes.
Nashville once in a while and create some noise, but the Luke Bryan stuff is not your thing.
No, that's not my
I don't
stuff
know.
right there.
I don't know if you know anything about the Luke Bryan feud that I have, but I'm so glad that you just shook it off like that, because you're back in my good graces now.
The one, because I work as a promotions assistant here too, and the country station here, they go out to a lot of those concerts at Deer Creek or whatever it's called now.
And I love that you called it Deer Creek.
Yes.
There's no doubt you are my son.
So I signed up for a ship because I thought it said Luke Combs, which I actually don't mind Luke Combs. I do like Luke Combs.
That's a terrible mix-up.
But it turns out it was actually Luke Bryan, and I get there, I'm like, what the hell is this?
And you could tell when you got there because there were a bunch of empty Axe body spray cans on the ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so in honor of the late, great Toby Keith, Chris, we're going to do a little game we normally do with Allison. But I've got a montage of Toby Keith songs here, just based on the honor system. Yes or no. Tell me if you've heard of it, okay? Here we go.
Red Solo Cup.
All right, 1 for 1.
I fill you up. I couldn't make you love me, but I always dreamed about living in your
I play this on the Bear all the time.
I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Okay.
Yes.
The patriotic stuff he's going to get.
Who's your daddy? Who's your baby?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's your buddy? Who's your man? He's just
Yes.
made in America.
All right.
Yes.
I love Bill Barr.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, just one.
Yes, there's one.
That's impressive.
To me, Toby Keith is always that music that I would have on my 4th of July playlist when you're just grilling out hamburgers, shooting off fireworks, and giving the big middle finger to England.
I like it. I like it.
Can I give him a bonus one? Do you know this song? Want to talk about me, want to talk about I, want to talk about number one, baby, my, me, my.
I don't know.
Would you know it if Toby Keith sang it?
I probably would.
There's people at home right now who thought that was Toby Keith. I bet.
That was pretty good. We lost OJ this year, Jeff Boggs. We lost OJ Simpson.
Yeah, gone too soon. I think. I always think it's a fun. When if you're a stand-up comedian, you go up on stage and you take the horrible opposite point of view, starting off with, "I feel like OJ was misunderstood." And
somewhere Norm Macdonald's spinning in his grave right now.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald, who famously was fired from SNL because he kept doing OJ jokes. Listen, I think we're all better off with the juice gone.
Oh, yeah. I said the day that he was gone,
Right.
I'm glad that he's dead. I like it when bad people don't breathe my air anymore. He's dead. The same way when Indiana executed that scumbag like a week or two ago, I was happy about it. Same thing when Juice is dead. Bill Walton, basketball legend. Jerry West, basketball legend. Did any of you watch that Lakers series called Winning Time or Showtime,
I
whatever
did.
it was?
I watched Winning Time. Yeah, it was on whatever the HBO streaming service is called.
They made Jerry West to be just a rotten, miserable.
They did. And I remember like the real Jerry West was actually like all mad and pissed off about it.
It's like the Dan Devine thing all over again.
Which tells me if he's mad and pissed off about it, they probably actually portrayed him pretty accurately at how he really was.
Donald Sutherland, 88, he passed away. Willie Mays, 93 years old. Willie Mays, is he in your starting lineup all-time of Major League Baseball?
I think he has to be. I mean, just one of the best outfielders and just one of the best players of all time in Major League Baseball. He just makes unbelievable catches.
Jeff, were you working at Letterman when Richard Simmons would come by?
All the time.
We lost Richard Simmons this past year at the age of 76. Tell me your Richard Simmons story.
Well, the craziest Richard Simmons story, it's been stripped from the internet, but when Dave, you're never supposed to touch his neck. You're never supposed to touch Dave's neck. That's a huge rule.
Okay.
Biff Henderson would tell people right before they went on, don't touch his neck. Richard Simmons came out all greased up, and Richard was very nice. I got along with him great. He was always big energy. He went out, I don't know what happened, about 5 minutes into his bit, he lost it. He like reached around and grabbed Dave's neck. And if you'll see clips of Dave grabbing the fire extinguisher and blasting him and losing his cool. I mean, Dave lost it and went to commercial. Richard goes backstage. I'm probably not even supposed to be saying this. He locked himself in the dressing room. People had to be called, and he stayed in the dressing room for an hour weeping. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was a big, big deal.
James Earl Jones, great actor, 93, passed away. Bob Newhart, 94. Greg Gumbel, who used to be a sports anchor here at Wish TV in Indianapolis, was 78.
You skipped over one. Can we do Shannon Doherty?
Shannon Doherty, 53.
From 90210. My friend Damon, who listens to your podcast in LA, by the way. My friend Damon was a producer on a show called Scare Tactics. Shannon Doherty hosted it for a year. Damon ended up dating Shannon Doherty. They went on 2 dates. He had a really crappy car, and he actually went and bought a new car to pick her up on a date. They went bowling, and he said, I think it's going well. I think things are going great. They went on a second date. Did not go well. Shannon left the date, went home. Damon, I feel horrible. It's going to be embarrassing to him to listen to this. Sorry, Damon. Damon called her that night and left messages on her answering machine saying, I'm so sorry. I was a bad date tonight. Let's try it again. The messages were never returned.
No.
Yeah.
Like, how bad did it go? It seems like things were going fine. They were bowling. See, Chris, bowling, there you go.
Yeah. Damon's a very handsome, nice guy, and it just didn't work out. But what can you do? But I remember I was so excited to know someone who dated Shannon Doherty because I was a diehard 90210 fan.
Real quick here, Pete Rose, 83. Yes or no, should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, he should totally be in the Hall of Fame. And it's going to make me mad when they inevitably end up putting him in the Hall of Fame after he's already dead. Because the MLB does that all the time, and it's terrible what they do to that.
They did that to Ron Santo.
Yes, Santo.
Of the Cubs.
And I also argue that if Pete Rose goes in the Hall of Fame, Shoeless Joe Jackson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame too.
I'm with that. And lastly, just a couple days ago, Jimmy Carter passing away at the age of 100. Dude lived to see the Great Depression and Hawk Tuah. You got to tip your hat to that. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Tech scams, identity thieves, data leaks. Hearing about these online threats every day can be stressful, but don't worry. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. What does worry-free mean? Well, it means you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. Hey, don't take your eyes off the road. Just listen. What you hear right now your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation, talking with Richard Michaelis about basements and foundations. Richard, what are some of the signs that a homeowner should watch out for to spot potential foundation or basement problems?
If you see cracks or bowing in your basement walls, uneven floors, or cracked bricks, these could indicate foundation issues. And keep in mind, if it's a significant foundation problem, it will only worsen over time. If you notice water in your basement, visible mold, damp walls, or musty odors, it could be a sign of a foundation issue or a waterproofing problem.
How can homeowners know for sure if there's a real problem?
By calling Michaelis for a free inspection. We're a local family-owned and operated company with 39-plus years of experience. If repairs are needed, we offer a lifetime warranty and 0% down on foundation and basement repairs. You see our work before we see your money.
Foundations, basements, and crawl spaces. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call or text 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
When it's supposed to actually cool down, 39 degrees with some steady showers moving through our radar. Temperatures tonight supposed to drop to around 30. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:36. It's supposed to start actually feeling like winter later this week, says Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service.
In the late Thursday, early Friday time frame, that might put down a thin coating. And then we are going to be looking at colder conditions going into the weekend.
He says temperatures won't be below normal by then. There could be a winter storm that shows up next week. Legalizing marijuana in Indiana by 2025 looks like a long shot, with Republican leaders in the House and Senate standing in the way. Justin Swanson, who's president of the Midwest Hemp Council, says it's about freedom and opportunity for Hoosiers.
We're trying to educate legislators that this is a real opportunity for farmers here in Indiana. We're an ag state. It's in our DNA. And rather than importing these products from the state, which we're doing right now, we really should be exporting them.
Indiana Senate Minority Leader Shelley Yoder says she wants to keep pushing for fair, regulated access to medical marijuana in the next legislative session. Details are coming out about the planned funeral for former President Jimmy Carter. Fox's Steve Harrigan reports.
This is going to be 6 days of events. It all gets started Saturday. That's when a motorcade will come from Plains, Georgia. Its first stop, a pause, will be outside the boyhood home of Jimmy Carter, a farm that his father owned. From there, he'll move on to the state capitol in Georgia and then here to the Carter Center in Atlanta. The body will lie in repose here for 3 days, giving people a chance to pay their respects to the 37th president, something we've already seen happening all around Georgia.
Former President Carter died Sunday at the age of 100, and Marion County is going to require pet owners to microchip their pets next year because of a new ordinance that goes into effect tomorrow. Indianapolis Animal Care Services will spend the next 365 days educating pet owners about microchipping before any citations are issued for people in violation. It's all part of an effort to try and take some pressure off shelters who bring in some lost pets and have trouble getting them back to their homes. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:38.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
With traffic at 3:39, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison, Southside at Southport. Crash on the exit ramp to Southport Road. It is southbound 65. To Southport Road, that ramp is open, but it is partially blocked. And then we look at eastbound 465 on the north side, and that is slow. Allisonville Road to I-69. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers will be more spotty this evening. Eventually, the chance of a few spotty flurries tonight. Lows near 30 degrees. Wednesday, isolated flurries. High temperatures in the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hey, look, Ma, I made it. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Jeff Boggs, you can find him on social media at Not Kenny Rogers. Longtime writer for some of your favorite television programs, including Letterman. This is normally your weekly spot. You normally join us on Tuesday. Now, you and Chris Hammer driving the boats all day with us today, but this is your dedicated segment. So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, wow. My goodness. How about we talk about, did you guys see in the last week the bit of a feud on social media with Elon Musk and MAGA? Are you guys aware of that at all? Very interesting. So this all started with the HBN visas.
The visa deal.
Yeah. Of bringing in highly skilled foreigners into the country to do engineering jobs or, computer science jobs, things like that. Now, it struck a nerve because a whole lot of MAGA people, and I hate saying MAGA, a whole lot of great Americans who, support conservatives were like, we don't need any more people from outside the country.
Right.
We can do it just fine. This was the first time in about 6 months Elon may have made a misstep because a lot of people were upset about that. His response to this was even more shocking. His response was, I'm going to shadow ban some people, or I'm going to do this. He lashed out, and it caused a bit of a ripple on social media. And I think it was a really good awakening, to be quite honest, at what we're going to be looking at after the inauguration. Right now, everyone's kumbaya. We know for 2 weeks you have Christmas, New Year's. Yay, everything's great. What are we, 20 days away from the inauguration? At that point, things like what Elon was suggesting, and Vivek, to be honest, he also suggested it about, well, let's loosen up the immigration for these people. That's not going to float with the people who elected Trump.
Right.
And
the America First crowd.
The America First crowd. And I don't like the names that we're giving people, but I feel like, listen, we voted for Trump and Vance. And if Elon can help, I think that's awesome. I think it's great. And I love Vivek Ramaswamy. I think, he had one of the greatest lines in the first debate. He goes, the American people don't want incremental change. The American people want a revolution. And that made me a fan. But looking now, we're going to see some cracks here and there. We just are. And people have to admit that it's going to happen. Even Donald Trump, who came out yesterday and said, I support Mike Johnson.
Right.
I disagree with that. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and keep supporting Trump because the guy got shot, stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. I'll be interested to see Elon with so much influence right now, how that's going to play over time.
And I'm not even sure if Trump even likes Mike Johnson. And Chris, this is kind of your wheelhouse here. But he wants to have all of this crap lined up so the minute he takes that oath of office, we can start signing executive orders. We can start doing this and that. It can't look like the circus that it was last time when Matt Gaetz was kicking out Kevin McCarthy.
Right, exactly. I mean, you got to have as soon as day one when he gets into office, he's got to have all his ducks in a row, because that was like one of the mistakes he made the first time around. Like, he trusted a lot of those establishment people. What he wanted to do didn't really happen. So I feel like he wants to have a complete different approach when he takes office on January 20th.
And he can only afford to lose one Republican. I'm talking about Mike Johnson here in this speaker vote, which could happen Friday. Thomas Massey is saying he's a hard no. So there's one. What about Victoria Spartz?
Mm-hmm.
What about some of these other folks? So we're definitely keeping an eye on that.
And I also think, I think the bigger question is going to be moving forward. I mean, listen, most of us support Trump. Most conservatives really support Trump. But I do think that there are cracks moving forward. If you look specifically at social media, you have most of the influential people, I would say, are highly educated, a bit highfalutin. And I don't think that reflects the normal folks like Hammer. You and I would consider normal folks.
Right.
And it'll be interesting how much access, how much promotion those elites have as compared to just the regular people who are like, we went out there and we voted. You know, we are passionate about getting our country back. Hey, you got to listen to us too. So I'll be fascinated to see how that plays out.
Jeff Boggs is here, not Kenny Rogers on Twitter X. Chris Hammer is here as well. It is New Year's Eve, so we're taking a look back at all things 2024 this afternoon, including music.
Yeah, music. I think that, I'm a big fan of music, have been my whole life, and and Chris, I'm sorry about this. Your kid's music today sucks.
It does. No, don't be sorry about that. That's a fact.
It is unbelievable.
You're talking to a kid that's going to AC/DC
Right.
this summer.
That's awesome. I took before I came in here today, I took an online pop music quiz to see how much I knew about pop music this year, and I aced it with a perfect score of 0. So I was really
That's
excited.
worthy of a victory lap that you got a 0 on 2024 pop music.
I felt really good about it. So what I want to do, and maybe this will be educational, Allison, for you too, because sometimes your music tastes frankly scare me. We have a couple 20-year-olds and the older guys in here. Why don't we take a look, compare and contrast the top 10 songs of 2024 with the top 10 songs of 1984. Are you guys good?
40-year difference here. Okay.
All right, so let's almost battle position by position. The number one song of this year, Lose Control by Teddy Swims.
Oh, that's good.
Everybody know, Hammer, do you know that song?
I didn't know Teddy, nor did I know if he swam.
I lose control.
He loses control.
Whoa. Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song. The number one song of 1984, When Doves Cry by Prince.
Advantage Prince.
Advantage, 1984. Second song this year, Shabuzi, a bar song.
Good.
Cool
Catchy.
song.
His only really notable song, to be honest, that I know of him. It's
But
all
it's
right.
Tipsy.
It's a novelty song, right?
It's just Tipsy remade. That's all that it is.
Right.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Old Town Road, a novelty song. The number two song of 1984, What's Love Got to Do With It by Tina Turner.
Oh, good.
Advantage Tina Turner.
There's
Advantage
no doubt about
1984.
it. We'll go quicker. Number three, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone.
I have no idea who
I got
Benson
nothing.
Boone is.
I got
Benson
absolutely
Boone
nothing.
could walk in here right now, take a dump on the floor, and I would have no idea who he is.
His song went really popular on TikTok this year.
Is that the one that goes, hey?
Okay.
That's why you don't know what
That's
it is.
why I don't know who the hell it is.
Is he the one who goes, you're beautiful, beautiful?
Yeah,
And
it is.
does he do the flips?
I
I think he does flips on
Probably.
stage. Okay, so that's the number three song of the year, and 75% of us don't know it. The number three song of 1984, Say, Say, Say by Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson.
I think those guys have accomplished a thing or two in their career.
feel like this list is cheating.
It's
Let's
not
hit the
cheating.
greatest year of music of all time.
What
and
is?
compare
I'm
it.
not cheating. This is simple. The number four song of this year, I Had Some Help, Post Malone featuring Morgan Wallen.
Now, Chris, you were telling us that Post Malone's been big in the country charts.
Yeah, he's trying to be a country singer now, which it's an all right song. Like I don't absolutely hate it, but what was number 4 in '84? I'd like to know that. 'Cause I'm willing to place money that whatever was number 4 in 1984 is better than that.
Well, let's see if anyone out there has heard of this song, Footloose by Kenny Loggins.
Yep, there it is.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that you understand what's happening here. These are the top songs of both years. The number 5 song of this year, Lovin' on Me by something called Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow did that awful halftime show for the Lions like a year ago.
I think he's a rapper, right?
He did it,
Hip-hop.
and he's an actor because he did a god-awful,
White guy.
straight-to-streaming remake of White Men Can't Jump.
Anytime I hear Jack Harlow, I just think of that Thanksgiving Detroit Lions halftime show where like he had the terrible stage and like was he even on the field or was that like the year before where somebody was out in the concourse?
I remember it. But to be clear, we have two 20-year-olds in here. Do you both know the song?
I don't know the song, but I know the dude.
What was the name of the song again?
The name of the song is Lovin' on Me by Jack Harlow.
I know the song.
Okay,
but
the
it's-
number 5 song of the year. Would you like to hear the number 5 song of 1984?
Yes.
Against All Odds by Phil Collins.
Oh, come on!
One of the greatest love songs ever written.
See, this is what's great about my generation. I think you're Gen X. You fall in this category. Inside of our musical taste, there's some gangster rap, there's some hair band, and a little bit of Phil Collins in there, too. There's a little bit of Phil Collins mixed in there with Snoop and Dre and Bret Michaels.
It's just everything today. I'm not even going to keep going because it just gets worse. Honestly, it gets worse. But all the music today, are you going to remember it in 5 years? I mean, there's going to be a couple songs. I think some of your bigger, I think Ariana Grande is incredibly talented. I think Beyonce is incredibly talented. But these songs from 1984, you guys even know these songs.
Yes. You could play those songs at a wedding right now. Chris, you could get married next year, and the DJ plays those songs at the wedding. People get out on the dance floor.
Let me just do one more real quick. The number 6 song of this year, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter.
Ugh. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
It's
Cute song.
catchy.
Number 6 song of 1984, Jump by Van Halen. Thank
Okay,
you.
we're taking a break.
catchy.
We're taking a break. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Retirement looks different for everyone. We're different people, right? Our goals, our priorities will not be the same for our golden years. Matt Bear here. Hey, the fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth will work with you in developing a tailored financial plan with your dreams in mind. They know one size does not fit all. And since Trajan Wealth is an independent firm, we're talking about true customization here. They're not bound to one line of products or portfolios. Call Trajan Wealth to learn more about what strategies they can implement for you. 317-480-2020 or visit TrajanWealth.com. And to double down on your peace of mind, Trajan Wealth will help you assess your risk tolerance or what's an acceptable loss in your investing. Call Trajan Wealth for a free consultation. They'll fix you up. 317-480-2020 or visit TrajanWealth.com today. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 16th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Act fast today and save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage because right now you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. Don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special only $49.99 guaranteed. Also, lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Thursday, January 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m., stop smoking seminar at 8. Or Saturday, January 25th at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
It's the Degenerates Next Door, a sports betting podcast for dudes.
Real dudes, not the fake Kardashian-looking like dudes you see on television doing this. The Degenerates Next Door. Download and subscribe today anywhere you get your podcast. StatFactory.io, proud sponsor of the Degenerates Next Door. Free trial. All the sports statistics you want, StatFactory.io. Download that podcast and use that site. Matt Bear.
Yeah, Hammer looking at northbound 65 south side crash between Raymond and the south split. Left lane is closed and traffic stop and go past Raymond Street. Crash south side, westbound 465 and I-65. It's on the shoulder. Crash near Crown Hill. This is going to be Senate Boulevard south of 65 21st. Senate Boulevard at Senate Avenue. If you can stay clear, that'd be awesome. South end of downtown crash, Madison Avenue at McCarty Street. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Be careful out there tonight. Call Uber, call Lyft, call a friend. Do not drive intoxicated. 40 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Coming up here in just a little bit, John Herrick, the news director here at WIBC, will join us in studio. He will talk about the biggest news stories in Indiana in 2024. But before we get there, Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige. Chris Hammer's here as well. You sent me a text shortly before I went on vacation about a guest we had in studio. Allie the Piper, the bagpipe girl who totally rocks, and she's not ugly. She's an attractive woman, and she kicked ass at that Colts game at halftime. But you noticed something that I don't think a lot of people did.
I did, and I'm not somebody like I'll see a woman. I don't see looks. I see hearts. And I think that
you've been hanging out with Rob Kendall too much.
She was, she was fascinating. I was driving down Allisonville Road. It was the 20th of December, I believe. And I was driving down the road, and you guys had Allie the bagpiper in. And she, it was awesome. It was really great to listen to. And then something happened that made me, I was drinking a large Diet Coke like I always do. I almost choked because there was a moment in that interview that I believe goes down as either the best moment in radio for 2024 or the most awkward moment in radio for 2024. And so I wouldn't mind, Allison, do you have it queued up? Okay, just imagine to my left is beautiful Allie the bagpiper. Nice red hair, very fit, funny, witty, great. Here's what Nigel said to her.
Those things look expensive. I'm looking at your bagpipes right now, and you can hold it up for the camera there if you want.
Hold on. Can I hear that one more time, please, Allison?
Those things look expensive. I'm looking at your bagpipes right now, and you can hold it up for the camera there if you want.
So you can imagine me driving down the road. I think I was going to have dinner with my parents, and I'm like, should someone mention something? And so now here we are 11 days later, and I just wanted to at least bring attention to it.
And you jumped on the YouTube feed immediately when he said that.
I did. And my question is, when something like that happens in the studio, do you make eye contact? Is there a sound effect? What happens?
Allison and I make eye contact because usually it's Nigel that says something dumb or something totally hypocritical. Like the other night when he's like, I don't get on my phone all that often. And when I do, it's not on speakerphone. I thought Allison's head was going to spin all the way around like Beetlejuice.
That's all he does.
That's awesome. We had on Letterman really quick, Will Lee, the bass player, anytime there was a really awkward that's what she said type moment, Will Lee would just hit the bass and go, brrr.
That's so good. John Herrick, he's coming up next.
I've been thinking about my Christmas wish list. Want to know what's at the top of the list? Never worrying about my family using all the hot water. Yes, endless hot water is what I'm hoping for this Christmas. Luckily, my friends at Hope Plumbing are offering an amazing special during the holiday season. $1,000 off a tankless water heater. Yes, you can give the gift of endless hot water and save $1,000 by calling Hope Plumbing today or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
Square. They're going to have some pretty big performances. There's also lots of police, street closures, and the mayor of New York City telling everyone they need to follow the rules.
We're not going to allow anything to disrupt the celebration, so we want you to follow the rules, even if you want to protest, protest within the rules.
The police are going to be mixed into the crowd, including undercover units. Although there are no credible threats at this time, security is a top priority. Bomb-sniffing dogs and drone units will be out on patrols, and state agencies will monitor the airports, the bridges, the tunnels, and the transit system.
About 1 million people are expected to be at the crossroads of the world come midnight. Well, we're learning more about the plans for the funeral for former President Jimmy Carter. Fox's Steve Harrigan is outside the Carter Center in Atlanta.
This is going to be 6 days of events. It all gets started Saturday. That's when a motorcade will come from Plains, Georgia. Its first stop, a pause, will be outside the boyhood home of Jimmy Carter, a farm that his father owned. From there, he'll move on to the state capitol in Georgia and then here to the Carter Center in Atlanta. The body will lie in repose here for 3 days, giving people a chance to pay their respects to the 37th president, something we've already seen happening all around Georgia. From here, Carter's remains will be flown to Washington. There, they will lie in state in the rotunda. That's an honor Carter will share with 12 former presidents, going all the way back to Abraham Lincoln. That state funeral, January 9th. That will be a national day of mourning. All federal agencies closed.
Carter died on Sunday. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Your forecast for the new year, 39 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Plenty of rain showing up on your radar. Temperatures expected to drop to around 30 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcoxers with trending at 402. The start of next year is supposed to include colder temps and chances for snow.
Early indications are we're going to have a lot of cold air in place, and we're going to have a system tracking somewhere across the middle of the U.S.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service. He says temperatures will start dropping as early as tomorrow with potential for snow next week. Overcoming the stigma of weed legalization is a major hurdle for advocates like the Midwest Hemp Council. Their president, Justin Swanson, says their focus is on education.
Really, the only way to fix that is to make sure that any voters out there who this is a priority for them, you can't be in hiding and you can't just be posting on Facebook. You need to have direct contact with your legislators. So first and foremost, we won't see movement until we see some pressure from voters.
A 2024 Hoosier survey from Ball State's Bowen Center shows strong support for legalized weed in the Hoosier State. Instead of a pay raise, state employees will be getting bonuses in January, says Governor Eric Holcomb. Most full-timers hired to the state's executive branch will get over just $1,200, while most part-timers are getting a $650 bonus. If you live in Marion County, you'll soon have to have your pet microchipped. Here's Kurt Darling.
City leaders passed the new ordinance earlier this year, and it takes effect on January 1st. It will require you to have your cat or dog microchipped if you live within county limits. The point of the ordinance is to make it easier for shelters to track down owners if a pet gets lost, thus freeing up kennel space quicker. IACS says they plan to educate people over the next year about the ordinance before they begin issuing citations. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas prices are projected to be lower next year compared to this year across both Indiana and the rest of the country. Gas Buddies head of petroleum analysis Patrick DeHaan said supply and demand can always change.
There's not a whole lot of consistency. Supply and demand is a huge issue. It changes every day based on things like weather. There can be economic changes to that. That is, if the economy slows down, demand slows down.
DeHaan also believes that there's going to be a drop in diesel prices as well. That can benefit truck drivers and those who work in agriculture. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 4:04.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is expected to run out of money in less than 10 years? And according to Barron's, an average couple could lose up to $16,500 every year in Social Security income. Multiply that by 10 or 20 years, and it could easily add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why it's critical you have the right strategy to file for Social Security. Discover how you could squeeze every nickel out of your benefits with a free, customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill, and you can too. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-648-5120. Call Bill at 317-648-5120.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, how's it going, Matt Bear?
What's happening, Harrison? Looking at northbound 65 crash between Raymond and the South split right now, and the left lane is blocked. Traffic stop and go to Raymond Street, about 5-minute delay. Crash northwest side. 34th at Georgetown Road. Crash north of downtown near Crown Point. 34th at Georgetown Road. Traffic sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 40 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers will be more spotty this evening. Eventually, the chance of a few spotty flurries tonight. Lows near 30 degrees. Wednesday, isolated flurries. High temperatures in the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
It is the Hammer and Nigel show. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody. I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige. We got Chris Hammer here. And joining us in studio is the news director here at 93 WIBC, John Herrick. John, I listed earlier that WIBC Year in Review special that aired earlier was fantastic.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, the team did a great job, worked a lot of hours putting that together, going back through a year's worth of powerful audio on, I think, all the stories that really mattered to people, and we're glad to put it together. It was a lot of fun.
If somebody missed that, is that going to be on again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be from 7 to 9 as well on New Year's Day, 7 to 9 a.m., and then 5 to 7 p.m. It's also going to air a little bit later on the first weekend of January, but it's now on our website as well, WIBC.com. You can listen to the whole special there in its entirety.
Yeah, I love those specials that the newsroom puts on. So let's talk about the biggest stories of the year here in Indiana. And I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say I think number one is probably the Delphi trial and then ultimate conviction of Richard Allen.
Yes, it is. And the thing that made it interesting was the gag order was finally lifted on December 20th. So what you heard in the end of the year special earlier today and what you'll hear later on as well was all the folks talking about it. The attorneys involved, some of the family members giving their takes on the conviction. Does this provide closure? Does it not? I mean, it's depending on how you look at it. There's surely going to be an appeal filed by Richard Allen and his attorneys. So this case is not over, but we did take an extensive look back at the year that was in that Delphi murders trial that led to his conviction.
Why do you think this case captivated so many people? Because there have been heinous crimes in Indiana before. Unfortunately, there have been crimes where children have been victimized before. What was it about these two girls, Abby and Libby, and this case that just captivated so many people?
Well, the way they were killed certainly didn't help. Just brutally killed with their throats being slit. The crime scene, the photos being leaked in the case, that didn't help things. I think that stirred up the emotions as well. And I think every parent, Jason, you know this, you're a parent, I'm a parent. you get worried when you hear about, your kids getting online and possibly seeing all these things that could lead them down a dark path. And that appears to be what happened to Abby and Libby here. There was the whole Anthony Schatz profile. Keegan Kline was investigated as part of this whole thing first before he was ruled out as a suspect. There were just so many twists and turns that I think made kids uneasy and parents very uneasy about this whole thing.
And I think you said it best, twists and turns, because there were so many times where there would be a press conference and nothing would happen, or you think this is the guy, turns out not to be the guy. And then the judge, Fran Gall, who basically in the past has all been about transparency and cameras and all that kind of stuff, all of a sudden shuts it down. And I think all the true crime folks and anybody that's just following what's going on based on the pool of reporters, which we had one there as well, they were interested in this. They had questions.
Yeah, and that's why you'll hear the majority of what was in this end of the year special was from Donnie Burgess. A big thanks to all his contributions before he left. We really appreciate that. And yeah, you're right. Because of the lack of transparency there is no courtroom audio. She would not allow any reporters to go in and take audio and record anything or it to be streamed. So we didn't get to have really any audio from the trial until after the conviction was made and everything was lifted on December 20th. So a lot of it in the special is explained by the great Donnie Burgess and what he was able to follow along through pool notes and when he was actually able to go to Delphi.
Speaking with John Herrick, the news director here at 93 WIBC. The biggest stories in Indiana in 2024. So Delphi, the trial, the conviction comes in at number one. Politically, you could go down a couple different roads here. Big election, seats, changing, different names, same party, but names changing in Indiana. But you also had some investigations to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest one that even had statewide implications, Hammer, was the sexual harassment accusations in Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's cabinet, which you guys talked about all throughout the show hosts on this station and documented. Of course, our partners at Mirror Indy were the ones who first broke open that investigation and into what Thomas Cook did and how that impacted what Joe Hogsett said afterwards, what the transparency aspect of it. People were questioning, what did he know? When did he know it? Before Thomas Cook was eventually let go. So that was a whole big part of it. And then we discussed new laws that were passed this year, and there were just too many of them to name right here, but we go through that. Harrison Silcox did a great job in the special of going down the list of new laws that were looked at all throughout this last legislative session. Of course, who knows what 2025's legislative session has in store. And of course, the big election story, Governor-elect Mike Braun right now. He will be sworn in on January 13th. But that was the big story on election night, was all the Republican victories.
And even before then, you go back to the Republican convention, Micah Beckwith kind of pulls off the upset. Now, he had been campaigning for the lieutenant governor's gig, which is something you don't normally see. Mike Braun originally did not want Micah Beckwith. That was not his choice. But after vote, when nobody reached a threshold at the convention, lo and behold, Micah Beckwith pulled it off.
Yeah, he did. It's a great point, and that's also another thing that gets detailed in there. And, all of his numerous visits with Rob Kendall. And he, we did go back and comb through some of the audio about that, about what he was going to do and how he was going to work with Mike Braun. And that's going to pave the way for an interesting 2025 to see how he serves as lieutenant governor, and his rise was very much a big part of 2024. And his familiarity with the ag culture, his conservative values definitely resonated with a lot of people. And then you think to the Democratic National Convention and even the Democratic State Convention. You remember when the assassination attempt happened on President Trump in July, some folks in the Indiana Democrat Convention were heard cheering. Donnie Burgess was there when that happened, and he captured audio of them cheering when the announcement happened that said that President Trump had been shot. President-elect Trump has been shot. So that was when he was campaigning back in July. So much tension on both sides in those conventions.
Again, we're talking about the biggest news stories to hit Central Indy in 2024 with John Herrick, the news director here at 93 WIBC. On a lighter side, something that I thought was really cool, and I did not know how it would play out, was the eclipse. And Nigel and I were broadcasting outside when this thing happened. Take a listen.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer, about 50 yards away from me on Monument Circle. We have reached totality is 3:06. Incredible. It's like nighttime here. Thousands of people on Monument Circle all cheering. Hammer, what do you see?
The street lights are on. There's a crowd here. Cheers went up when we reached totality, and the temperature, Nige, has dropped a good 5, 6, 7 degrees in the last couple of minutes.
We didn't know what to expect, but you know what? This thing actually delivered. Indiana was in the perfect path of totality. Wasn't that the key word we kept hearing, totality?
Yeah, and I think it was Merriam-Webster's dictionary said that one of their key most searched words this year from people was the word totality, and I think it was because everybody was interested in the eclipse. It wasn't just the meteorological or the weather aspect of the eclipse. It was the fact that it brought so many people to Indiana, brought tons of economic value to the state. There were so many people that traveled here from the likes of Louisville or Ohio or Michigan because they wanted to be in the path of totality. I spoke to a solar system ambassador who went to a park in Greenwood to see it, and he said, listen, the next time you find out that there's a total solar eclipse in your area, research it, get ahead of it, go down there a couple days ahead of time because it's going to be a party. A lot of people will get involved. It was a huge, huge event here in Indiana.
And we'll talk about the sports stories coming up here in just a little bit because I know sometimes that ties into what we do here locally. What else is on the list?
Well, there were some struggles, as you know. There were definitely some shootings involving police this year, probably more than the police would have liked. And our Ryan Hedrick details a lot of how it was affecting not just Indianapolis, but also the rest of the state. These were happening in other areas of Indiana as well. You might remember, too, Israel and Palestine, the tension over there and how that affected Indiana. That was a big part of what happened on Indiana University's campus. There were some arrests there, and that was not exactly well received by some of the people in Bloomington. By the way, Indiana University handled that. Of course, that generates strong opinions on both sides. So we detail a lot of what the Israel-Palestine tensions and how they led to protests in the state of Indiana. So we had a lot to talk about from that aspect as well. Certainly a busy 2024.
And once again, when can we hear this special again? And it's up at WIBC.com right now?
Yes, it is on WIBC.com. And if you're in your car, 7 to 9 a.m. on New Year's Day and 5 to 7 p.m. on New Year's Day. And we're also going to air it a little bit later on in the weekend. So if you're listening in on the weekends, too, you'll hear it there to start off 2025.
You've had a pretty fun year, too, riding the lightning of this IU football machine. Again, for those who don't know, not only is John our news director, but he's part of the IU radio network. You hear him doing the pregame and the halftime shows of the IU basketball and football games. And listen, when Cignetti came to Indiana, I think everybody was ready for a change. They thought he would turn things around, but I don't think you anticipated college football playoff.
No, I don't think anybody did. I don't even know that Cignetti did, to be honest. I mean, he even sounds surprised when he was like, yeah, I expected to win. I didn't think it was going to be this historic in year one. And he's already gotten back to work in the transfer portal. Not only is Indiana a big part of our end of the year special, and I'm sure what you're going to talk about as well, Notre Dame. You know, Indiana and Notre Dame playing each other in that college football playoff.
And Purdue fans made it to the Final Four.
Yep.
Because if you don't mention Purdue, the train people get upset.
That's true. Their basketball team is awfully good, but yeah, it was really interesting to be a part of it. And Cignetti clearly showed in year one he has got something special brewing in Bloomington.
John Herrick, thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, too. Happy New Year to you as well.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
South side crash, northbound 65 before the south split, blocking the left lane, and a little bit of slow back to Raymond Street right now. Crash on the south end of downtown. It's Madison Avenue at McCarty. Crash near Crown Hill, Senate Boulevard south of 65 21st. That's Senate Boulevard at Senate Avenue. Northwest side crash, 34th Street at Georgetown Road. Traffic sponsored by Compassion International. Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over a year to be sponsored. End their wait today. to become a Compassion sponsor, text radio to 83393. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We need you to get your butts to the YouTube feed and hit that like button. I know it's kind of a de facto holiday today, and a lot of people are not at work or whatnot, but give us a like. Let's see if we can get close to 100. That's all we're asking for today. Maybe not even for me. Maybe it's for Chris Hammer. Maybe if it's for Jeff Boggs. Hit like on that WIBC YouTube stream of the Hammer and Nigel show. 40. Light rain right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah?
I can't tell my mom. She'll never understand. I mean, how was I supposed to know he would share it with the whole school?
You can't help what you don't know. Tell the teens in your life they can talk to you about what's happening online.
Hey, you know you can tell me anything, right?
Okay, I need to show you something.
Learn more about online safety at InternetCrimesAgainstKids.com. A message from the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, sponsored by the Indiana State Police.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
So this new dose is, well, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
So with Big Nige being out, we've got Jeff Boggs, we've got Chris Hammer. They're both going to play America's fastest growing game sensation, Is This Anything? Jeff, we'll start with you. There's a website called TaskRabbit.com, TaskRabbit.com. And they offer a number of different services, but one of them is you can hire somebody to wait in line for you, whether it's at an amusement park, whether it's in line to get a pizza in a restaurant. If you do not want to wait in line, you can hire somebody at TaskRabbit.com to do it. Is this anything?
Well, I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's very entrepreneurial. I think I said it right. But yeah, I mean, it kind of harkens back to San Francisco parking. You know, you could hire somebody to save a spot for you in San Francisco 10 years ago. I think it's a good idea. I would have to question. I saw this story. I believe I saw it in the news a couple days ago about a pizza place in New York that people had to stand in line for so long for. I never understand that because, my goodness, I'm not going to stand in the line at a club or a restaurant, but for those who do, it sounds like a fantastic idea, so I'll say it's definitely something.
Chris?
I think this is stupid. I mean, I'm just imagining a place with extremely long lines, like Disney World or something like that. If I've been waiting in line for like an hour, and then we get to the front, and I see the guy in front of me just swaps in and out, you might be catching some hands a little bit because
now hold on here, kid. Maybe this is Beech Grove math, but it's the same amount of people
I don't care.
front of you.
You wait in the line like the rest of us. I don't care how much money you got. You're going to wait in the same line that I had to wait if you want the same thing that I want. I don't care. This is stupid.
Okay. Now, we waited in line in Key West, Florida to get a picture by the southernmost point barrel because we're total tourists and that's what we do. If I would have told you, I've got $50 that I won betting on the Pacers game. We're going to pay this guy over here. He's going to hold our spot. We're going to go over here and have margaritas. Would you take that deal?
No, I'd rather spend the $50 on more margaritas later.
See, you haven't stood in lines enough. That's your problem. I can remember standing outside of Market Square Arena in line for, I believe it was Van Halen tickets. And it used to be, remember, Ticketmaster, it was like, who knows how you get on it, or you could call in, or you could be one of those dudes standing in line.
Yes.
And the camaraderie that was built in that line.
Right.
We were so excited. So for you people today, for you to act like you'd be offended by somebody swapping out, man, that's soft. Come on, Chris.
Shots fired.
I don't know if that's soft because that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm waiting in this line, you can wait in this line too. I don't care if you're how much money you have or what you got. I'm not the soft one. I'm actually putting in the work. You are doing God knows what while I'm actually waiting for this line.
All right. Is this anything? There's this weird thing going around TikTok where kids on airplanes are pulling their knees up to their chest. They're putting their feet on the airline seat, and they're strapping the seatbelt around their ankles. And they're saying they're doing it because it's comfortable. Chris, we'll start with you. Is this anything?
I mean, I'm not going to knock it till I try it because I don't think there's any more uncomfortable things in the world than sitting on a cramped airplane. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock them for trying to find a way to make the airplane more comfortable. But
so the line is paying for somebody to be in line. Strapping a seatbelt around your ankles is perfectly okay.
No,
but
that's
somebody
the part. No, that's the part that gets me.
Business transaction isn't good enough for you.
I would do it, but without the seatbelt. I don't care. I wouldn't wear the seatbelt.
But you have to wear the seatbelt because if not, then the light comes on and you piss everybody off on the plane. Come on, kid.
Tell me like 90% of the people on the plane don't wear that seat, but I'm convinced I'm the only one that actually listens to that.
Jeff?
Oh, I 100% wear a seatbelt at all times. When you watch videos of bad things that happen in airplanes, I don't care, even if, we haven't taken off yet. I latch in right away. As for what you were describing, honestly, I still don't quite understand it. So to me, it's nothing. I don't understand why anyone would do anything other than sit still and hope you don't have to go to the bathroom on an airplane.
You lost me at TikTok trend.
Right.
The next time I say, oh, wow, I'm excited about this TikTok trend, I want you to take me out back and beat me with a tack hammer.
One of my favorite things right now is Dan Dockich when he keeps posting the video of Cups and Galloway from Indiana basketball doing the TikTok dance. It is soul-sucking. Like there's something about when they get the face and they start doing the steps. A, you've taken the time to learn the steps, which, take your man card away right away. But B, why would you do it publicly? There's no self-awareness. I think it's horrible.
And the fact they went 1 for 20 from the three-point line the other night, somehow won the game, but 1 for 20, like maybe you practice a little bit more on shooting and a little less on TikTok.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Last one, is this anything? A groomsman at a Florida wedding got arrested after he attacked the bride, who happened to be a sister. Now, while he was being escorted out of the reception, he also hit the brother-in-law, another bridesmaid, a niece, and his own mom. Jeff Boggs, is this anything?
Man, that's just country music right there. That reminds me of like a Judd family reunion. That sounds awesome. And good for him, being that passionate. Whatever led him to that point, you have to respect his passion.
He fought the whole damn family. Chris.
To us, this sounds like an outlandish, crazy news story. But I bet if you lived in Florida, this is average Tuesday. This is just an average day in the great state of Florida. I mean, all the stuff I see that comes out of here, would this be in the top 10 of your Florida man stories that you hear?
No.
I would say this is just an average day in Florida, so I'm really not surprised about this.
I've had 2 of my brothers, and I won't name them, Joe and Jake, but 2 of my brothers almost came to blows once over a chalupa. And the line was, "That's not your chalupa, dude." And so, I see how things happen, with families.
Right.
Cooler heads prevailed, and we don't like to talk about it now, that Joe and Jake almost went after each other over a chalupa.
Which brings us to great moments in wedding and maybe chalupa history. This went viral a couple years ago. It was a groom's very cringeworthy wedding vows that he decided to write himself.
Only 2 things are required to keep me happy. Keep my belly full and my empty. So you're amazing at half of it. We really need to get you some cooking lessons. Even when my belly isn't full, there is no one I could ever love more in this lifetime, unless I actually get a chance to meet Margot Robbie. Since the beginning, I was always told life gets even better when the kids fall asleep and you tell me to come to the bedroom. Nothing's better than the sound of gagging and headboard slamming.
Michael.
P.S. Since you're so good at making decisions like marrying me, you can choose whether tonight's going to end with being a toaster, strudel, or a Twinkie.
Good Lord.
All right. Being that I am his mom, I will deal with him later. He is grounded, by all means.
Great moments in wedding history. Chris, we've been to a number of weddings. I used to DJ weddings for like 20 years. You were my wingman when I just got tired of lifting all the heavy stuff, and I made you do it. We've seen some things, right? We've seen the inappropriate frat bros giving their, we used to pump a bunch of chicks speech in front of grandmas, and that's ridiculous. You always had the bridesmaid who wanted to make it about her and not the actual bride. She's got a 20-minute damn speech and she won't shut up. That happens. But this was different. This was a little different. You ever been to a wedding like that?
Well, I was actually the best man, a co-best man at one of my brother's wedding. And the family was nervous. And I wrote the speech, and my brother Jim, I said, all right, let's go over this. Here's how the speech started.
Okay.
Fornication.
Okay.
And I looked out at the crowd, and my mom has her hand in her head, and everyone is honestly nervous. Christy Lee was at that wedding. So my brother goes, fornication. And then I go in his ear, and I go, psst. He goes, I'm sorry, for an occasion such as this.
Oh, that's good.
Everybody cheered. Everybody felt better.
That's a good joke.
But my goodness, the people who, like you said, the bridesmaids who make it about themselves, it's the most painful thing. And whatever that dude was doing, I know it killed with his friends, but with his family, that's pretty rough.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo.
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Pat Sullivan for the Michaelis Corporation, talking with Richard Michaelis about foundations. What are signs of a foundation issue?
Cracks or bowing in your basement walls, uneven floors, or cracked brick? Call Michaelis for a free inspection. We are locally owned for almost 40 years. We offer a lifetime warranty and 0% down on foundation repairs.
Foundations, basements, and crawl spaces, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call or text 844-FIX-INDY.
The holidays are over, and the new year is here, making it the perfect time to think about the future. More specifically, it's the perfect time to think about your financial future. Right now, Howard Bailey Financial is offering a free retirement toolkit, a comprehensive guide designed to help you plan, save, and jumpstart the retirement you deserve. To get your free copy today, text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 and download your free retirement toolkit. Start 2025 off with a gift to yourself, filled with all the tools you need to plan for a positive and purpose-filled future. Just text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Make this new year your year to invest in yourself and secure a brighter tomorrow, starting today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's about to be chilly. 39 degrees, cloudy over the monument. Plenty of rain showing up around the capital city when you check the radar. Low temps tonight down to about 30 degrees. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:34. It's been a wet and mild holiday season, but Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service says it'll get really cold starting tomorrow.
Going into the rest of the week, it'll be overall dry and colder, kind of seasonally cold, highs 30s, lows in the 20s. But there could be a period of some light snow.
That snow is likely to show up Thursday, hang around into Friday. Only supposed to be a light coating. More snow could show up with a winter storm that will likely move through sometime next week. The former First Lady of Indianapolis, Beverly Hudnut, has died. She was married to Mayor William Hudnut, who served 4 terms as the mayor of Indianapolis. Our news gathering partners at Wish TV say Hudnut died Sunday from brain cancer. She was 66 years old. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are debating whether or not to extend Donald Trump's tax cuts. Fox's Grady Trimble breaks it down.
Exactly 1 year from today, key provisions of the tax cuts President-elect Trump ushered in during his first term are set to expire, and that is setting the stage for a major battle on Capitol Hill as Republicans seek to extend those tax cuts. House Ways and Means Committee Chair Jason Smith is trying to get ahead of that discussion. He's putting out a statement already saying that if Congress doesn't act, it's going to mean a major tax hike for everyday Americans, some 22%. He says for the past 4 years, Americans have watched high prices eat away at their paychecks and financial well-being. A 22% tax increase would only compound that pain.
A lot of Democrats are arguing that extending those tax cuts for wealthy Americans would only increase the federal budget deficit. Legalizing marijuana in Indiana by 2025 looks to be a pretty tall task, with Republican leaders in the House and Senate standing in the way. Justin Swanson, the president of the Midwest Hemp Council, says it's about freedom and opportunity for Hoosiers.
We're trying to educate legislators that this is a real opportunity for farmers here in Indiana. We're an ag state. It's in our DNA. And rather than importing these products from the state, which we're doing right now, we really should be exporting them.
Indiana Senate Minority Leader Shelley Yoder says she wants to keep pushing for fair, regulated access to medical marijuana in the next legislative session. Gas Buddies predicting that prices will drop next year compared to 2024, but Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan says you can't expect to pay the most at the pump during spring and summer.
And they could get closer to $4 again by the time prices peak in April or May. They could even rise above that if there are any refinery issues.
DeHaan says barring any unforeseen circumstances, prices will begin to go back down once you get to the fall and winter months. And not the best way to end the year of the market. The Dow finishing down 29 points, closing at 42,544. The Nasdaq dropped by 175 to 19,310, and the S&P 500 down by 25, finishing at 5,881. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:36.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and the holidays are gone, and it's time to get your house back to the clean you love. And Zerorez is doing their part to help with their best offer of 24% off all their cleaning services. All of them. Floors, tiles, carpets, rugs, upholstery, even your air ducts. Don't miss this deal. Get it all Zerorez-ified with a 24% off January sale. Look, this is the best Zerorez offer I've ever seen, and it won't last long. The Zerorez pros know how to get your carpets and floors and rugs and upholstery and ductwork too really clean. And they can help you deal with the deeply embedded dirt, dander, and allergens, not to mention the pet stains and some of your stains. The game changer is the patented ZR water that uses no soap, leaves no residue, and there are no harsh chemicals because they just aren't needed to get things really clean. I just love these folks. Just call them, mention WIBC, get 24% off right now. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com.
With traffic at 4:37, here's Matt Baer.
North side crash eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. The left lane is closed and traffic is stopped. Back to Keystone Avenue for a 22-minute delay. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers will be more spotty this evening. Eventually, the chance of a few spotty flurries tonight. Lows near 30 degrees. Wednesday, isolated flurries. High temperatures in the mid-30s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse. For 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
New Year's Eve here. 2024. Getting ready to go out the back door. 2025 will arrive tomorrow. I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige. Chris Hammer also here. And we've been doing year in review type of things all afternoon. And we thought, what can we do with Donald Trump? Because he's had such a wild year. So we're going to dedicate an entire segment to Donald Trump's year in review. And in case you didn't hear, he won the election.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Congrats.
Won every single swing state in Electoral College blowout. This was the moment that Fox News officially called the race.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
The former president's comeback will be complete with a win in Wisconsin, a state that he narrowly lost 4 years ago. He is now the second president in U.S. history to win non-consecutive terms.
So Biden has his own segment later. We'll deal with him later, but this was an Electoral College blowout. He swept every swing state.
I mean, you look back on the year of Trump, and I'm sure we'll hear some more things coming up here. I don't think unless you go into biblical times, I can't think of someone who's had a crazier year. I mean, you know, double assassination attempts, being somehow able to come back and pull off that victory. It's heroic. It's legendary. And I couldn't be happier. I'm just, I'm nervous about, okay, now let's start working.
Right.
But good for that guy. And the fact that he was able to deal with it and listening even to Fox News. I know that people differ on Fox News. I still think there's a tinge of, we can't believe it, but he's president, even for them. Forget about MSNBC crying and CNN crying.
Right.
Just the shock and awe of what happened still has not set in, but God bless him.
Okay, so I will see your concern for Fox News, and I will raise you Nicole Wallace at MSNBC. This was before the election, but I think she was starting to see the writing on the wall. Listen to the ridiculous hyperbole that was coming out of some of these networks when they realized that the ride was almost over.
Depending on what happens in November, 7 months from right now, this time next year, I might not be sitting here. There might not be a White House Correspondents' Dinner or a free press.
There might not be a free press.
Jesus.
And my favorite part is she's so concerned that there might not be a White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Ooh.
Like, the only people that give a blue rat's rear end about the White House Correspondents' Dinner are butt sniffers like Nicole Wallace and George Snuffleupagus. So, Chris, I defer to you here. Young voters came out for Donald Trump. We went to a couple college football games this year, and man, there was a lot of young dudes starting Trump, type of chants in the crowd. You didn't see that back in 2020.
No, you didn't. And something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, like my generation, and scrolling through social media, even TikTok, we give it a lot of crap, but just scrolling through that, scrolling through Twitter, there's a big conservative movement, and like the people born in 2004, such as myself. For the past several years, it's been your millennials that have been the main guys voting. But now that people like me that were born in like 2004 that are able to start voting now, there's a pretty big conservative movement in that group. Like a lot of people actually like Donald Trump in my age group.
Well, it feels like that kind of goes back and forth, right? So you had the boomers, and then here comes Gen X, right? And we're totally different. And my generation, your generation, Jeff, Gen X, we gave the keys to the millennials. And the millennials were afraid of capital letters, and they were afraid of words, and they needed safe spaces and tampons in the men's room. But now here comes this younger generation underneath of the millennials, Chris's group, and others like you that are like, yeah, you guys are insane.
Chris, when did you notice the change? Like, you're on the campus and you've kind of lived through this with the teenagers, now your early 20s. When did it change?
So in terms of my generation, it's always been like that, but I really noticed the change this election cycle because we're like my generation is finally all becoming 18. We're all becoming legal adults now. And that's what really kind of like confirmed it to me that there's a big conservative movement in my group. And I just like make this comparison. Like if the millennials are the ones that are all, cancel culture this, we can't do this and that. My generation is like the attitude era of the WWE. The jokes we make would get anybody fired out of if you had a microphone in front of their face. Like it is completely the exact opposite of what the previous generation was to us.
We're doing the year in review, talking about Donald Trump's crazy year. And of course, the moment that time kind of stood still for a little bit, people had to just lock in on their televisions. They couldn't believe what was going on. Donald Trump doing a rally in Pennsylvania and was shot.
Take a look at what happened.
Get down, get down, get down, get down. When you're ready, on you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stand.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
We're good to move. We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
And what's crazy, Jeff, is we still don't know a lot about the person who did shoot the president, made contact. It was an earlobe, but he made contact. We don't know hardly anything at all about this individual.
Yeah, it was crazy. Molly and I were in the process of moving back to Indianapolis from Los Angeles. We were staying in a hotel that day. I went downstairs to burn one, and all of a sudden I look on Twitter and hashtag Trump shot, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I clicked on it. It just happened that second. You got to see the beginning of it. I ran back inside. Molly's up in the room. Go past the front desk, and I go, "Hey, Trump just got shot." They're like, "No, he didn't." Went up in the elevator. For those 30 seconds, I thought the guy was dead. Go into the room. Told Molly. She's freaking out. We watch it. The fact that we still don't know anything about it,
right,
is absolutely unbelievable. And like I said, hopefully when he takes office, all of this crap has to change quickly.
And I want Kash Patel and I want Pam Bondi to clean house and make this thing transparent. But in the immediate aftermath, the left-leaning media, including the Indy Star here in this city, were trying to make Donald Trump look embarrassed or ashamed because of it, or make it his fault. I remember the Indy Star's headline online said, "Donald Trump hears noise, falls to the ground." Hears noise, like he's cowering somewhere in the corner. He got shot. And then you had ABC's coverage of what happened to Donald Trump. That old bag, Martha Raddatz and George Stephanopoulos, and I say his name wrong every time on purpose because he doesn't deserve the respect. He's one of the great butt sniffers of all time. Nigel and I were on the air reacting to their coverage. Martha Raddatz, that old bag, and George Snuffleupagus, one of the great butt sniffers of all time.
See?
Listen to this little back and forth.
We saw President Trump raise his right hand, as John just described, and we've seen those pictures. But we could also see him say what I believe was fight, fight. That was his first instinct. And this is a country divided. This is a country, we saw the violence yesterday, the horrific violence yesterday. And we've seen it in places. And we've also seen this morning, we've heard President Trump say he wants the country to come together, to be united, but others are directly pointing the finger at President Biden with, of course, no evidence that he incited this or had anything to do with this assassination attempt.
President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well.
Well, absolutely, George. We were just looking back this morning at some of the things that former President Trump has said. He said, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it. He said he was partly joking and that was taken out of context.
Which it was.
Those are indeed his words. And let's remember January 6th.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. All roads lead to January 6th, apparently.
The side that called this dude a Nazi and Hitler for at least 4 years, probably more, are blaming him for being shot.
I mean, it's Chris, I asked you earlier, when did you notice a change? And for me, 100%. That first it's crazy. The first assassination attempt.
Because there was another one on a golf course.
That's when you couldn't lie anymore. You couldn't, in the media, you couldn't lie anymore. You couldn't sit there and say Trump, 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 because people are like, even people on the left were like, I don't know, the dude got shot in the head. And so I think, as far as how did Trump end up winning the election, it's because people saw that. And then people saw morons like Tenacious D saying, I wish he wouldn't have missed.
Right.
Or these just terrible people. And I think that shook a lot of people, including Trump, but also voters were like, can't keep going down this road or something even worse is going to happen.
And also brought to our attention how incompetent Secret Service can be. Like, if you decide to focus on DEI initiatives and you've got to hire somebody from every gender and whatever to be on the Secret Service, okay, but you can't be mad when the president gets shot. This was a complete failure by the Secret Service, and they had a couple spirited hearings in Washington. Here's an example of one of them. It's the acting Secret Service director speaking with Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri.
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the
Is it
Secret
not
Service.
prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
Then
just like you
fire
have.
somebody to
and I will
hold
tell
them
you,
accountable.
Senator, I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people
I can't believe
unfairly
that you
persecuted.
are unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly,
We've got people
sir.
who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally-goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
So from winning elections to being shot to being blamed for being shot, almost shot again, from mug shots to McDonald's to trash trucks and more, it's been a hell of a ride for Donald Trump. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams. Read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing. Sponsored by Indiana 529.
You might not consider yourself a tech expert, but that doesn't mean you can't protect yourself from online scammers with a little help from McAfee Total Protection. Whether it's a fake missed delivery text or an urgent bank alert, these scams can look incredibly convincing. That's where McAfee Total Protection steps in. So go ahead, manage your finances and shop online. McAfee will help keep your device's privacy and identity safer. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them.
If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars January 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar at 8. And January 25th at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm going to let you in on a little wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile have convinced you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data plus hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say switch now to save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
Hey, Matt Bear, what's up?
North side crash eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. Left lane is blocked, and traffic is stopped back to Keystone Avenue for a 14-minute delay. Crash Speedway, Crawfordsville Road, east of Cunningham Road. That is a hit and run. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
40 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Man, having a good time with you guys. This is fun. New Year's Eve, taking a look back at the year that was 2024. I'm Jason Hammer. Chris Hammer is here, not Kenny Rogers. Jeff Boggs is with me. We were talking about some of the music of 2024 a little bit earlier. Let's talk about the movies, because the movies stunk too. It was just a bunch of reboot crap, sequels, very little to the imagination. Inside Out 2, the kids' movie, made the most money out of anything this year, but no major, good superhero movie, nothing really with Tom Cruise. It was kind of a turd.
Yeah, I will say, though, Inside Out 1 made us think. Inside Out 2 made us feel.
Electric Boogaloo was just my favorite part of that.
I saw you post that the other day.
Yes.
You're 100% correct. The movie industry is in trouble. What's interesting, though, is I don't know if my figures are 100% correct. I don't think it fell off that much from last year. Some of it was Wicked, came on strong at the end of the year. Last year was a little weird with Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Right.
But, Inside Out was a big one. Wicked's ending the year strong. But, man, they don't make movies for adults anymore.
They don't.
You look at what's out there. If you're a couple in your 30s or 40s, let's go see the movies. No, let's just stay home.
No. Most watched TV show, no surprise, it was the Super Bowl, Kansas City and San Francisco. That's the case every year. So I feel like we need something positive to put a bow on 2024, because the music stunk, the movies stunk, TV was kind of a turd. But you know who had a banner year? Hammer and Nigel Records.
Ooh.
I think we put out one of our greatest songs of all time this past year, the Joe Biden quote song. Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
Where's Jackie? Is she here?
Where's Jackie? Jackie, are you here?
Happy birthday, Velvet. You ain't black.
And you ain't black.
You're a damn liar. Get your word straight, Jack.
You're a damn liar, man. Get your word straight, Jack.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. Lion, dog face, pony soldier.
Lion, dog face, pony soldier.
True international depression.
True international depression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
True international depression.
True international depression.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Clap your hands. Kajan.
Come on.
Katanji Brown Jackson.
I'm Joe Biden's husband, Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden's husband, Joe Biden.
You know the thing. Let's go, Brandon.
You know the thing. Let's go, Brandon.
Log on now to vaccines.gum.
Vaccines.com. Vaccines.com.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper. I'm not going nuts.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper. I'm not going nuts.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. Lion, dog face, pony soldier.
You're a lion, dog face, pony soldier.
True international depression.
True international depression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
True international depression.
True international depression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Bravo.
More year in review coming up.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars January 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar at 8. And January 25th at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what's in your forecast at the start of the new year and what could happen with gas prices in 2025? That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Preparing to celebrate the new year. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. Well, they're already welcoming 2025 around the globe. Well, fireworks there in Dubai and New York City. Crowds have been filing into Times Square where security is tight.
There have been people out here for hours, okay? We're talking before the sun came up, hundreds of people in lines all across New York City, specifically in Times Square. We're talking about more than 1 million people, okay, that are going to be here in Times Square. You're going to have some pretty big performances. There's also lots of police, street closures, and the mayor of New York City telling everyone they need to follow the rules.
We're not going to allow anything to disrupt the celebration, so we want you to follow the rules. Even if you want to protest, protest within the rules.
Police are going to be mixed into the crowd, including undercover units. Although there are no credible threats at this time, security is a top priority.
Fox's Alexis McAdams in Midtown Manhattan. The hunt is on in Los Angeles for a gunman who shot 2 security guards at a downtown Target store.
The LAPD has a picture circulating of a man accused of shoplifting, who they say opened fire on 2 security guards Monday night after the guards confronted him inside a Target store. This witness describing the chaos.
Nobody really looked back because we could hear kind of bullets whisking by us. We started running up the stairs, ran and kept running until we were around the corner.
A guard armed returned fire, though apparently missed. One of them hospitalized in critical condition. The LA Target store remains closed for the investigation. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A team of U.S. investigators, including representatives from Boeing, examining the site of a plane crash that killed 179 people in South Korea. Only 2 survived. On Wall Street, stocks ending in the red for the day. Last trading day of the year, the Dow falling 30 points, NASDAQ dipping 176, S&P 500 giving up 25. America's listening to Fox News. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Your forecast is to start the year. Cloudy with temperatures in the upper 30s at the moment. Still plenty of rain hanging around on your radar. 30s your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for the Michaelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The start of 2025 is supposed to include colder temperatures and some chances for snow.
Early indications are we're going to have a lot of cold air in place, and we're going to have a system tracking somewhere across the middle of the U.S.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service. He says temperatures will start dropping as early as tomorrow. Could get some light snow Thursday and Friday, and even more snow possibly next week. You might be wondering what gas prices will look like next year. Here's John Herrick.
Both the average for Indiana and the nation are expected to drop from 2024. That's the prediction from Gas Buddy. Patrick DeHaan is Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis.
Although there will still be the seasonal ups and downs. Gas prices right now, starting the new year, likely to be at a relatively low level. Gas prices will likely climb into March, April, before peaking at some point in April or May.
But then he believes they'll drop again, especially as it gets colder. He says prices in the southern portion of Indiana will be cheaper than what you get up north. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Overcoming the stigma of marijuana legalization is a major hurdle for advocates of it, like the Midwest Hemp Council. The president, Justin Swanson, says they're focused on educating.
Really, the only way to fix that is to make sure that any voters out there who this is a priority for them, you can't be in hiding and you can't just be posting on Facebook. You need to have direct contact with your legislators. So first and foremost, we won't see movement until we see some pressure from voters.
A survey done in 2024 in Indiana from Ball State's Bowen Center showed strong support for legalizing pot in the state. And if you live in Marion County, you'll soon have to have your pet microchipped. Here's Kurt Darling.
City leaders passed the new ordinance earlier this year, and it takes effect on January 1st. It will require you to have your cat or dog microchipped if you live within county limits. The point of the ordinance is to make it easier for shelters to track down owners if a pet gets lost, thus freeing up kennel space quicker. IACS says they plan to educate people over the next year about the ordinance before they begin issuing citations. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the former First Lady of Indianapolis, Beverly Hudnut, has died. She was married to Mayor William Hudnut. He served 4 terms as the mayor of Indianapolis. Our news gathering partners at Wish TV say Hudnut died Sunday from brain cancer. She was 66 years old. Traffic and weather in 1 minute. It's 5:04.
When you have a fire emergency, you need a restoration company you can trust to put everything back together. Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. I know. I've relied on Michaelis after a fire at my home. I'm here with the owner, Richard Michaelis. Richard, what makes Michaelis the right call if you have a fire?
Michaelis is local and family owned. We are your neighbors, 39 years of experience, and we'll respond 24/7, 365. The Michaelis Corporation is IICRC certified. We will restore your home or business to pre-loss condition or better.
I've lived it. Michaelis was on the scene at my home before the firefighters had even rolled up their hoses. They asked me about calling a restoration company. I told them I had Michaelis. They told me Michaelis was the real deal. You help with insurance, too?
Yes, we'll work through the insurance process to give you peace of mind.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, north side, eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. It's a crash blocking the left lane, stopping traffic to Keystone Avenue for a 16-minute delay. Crash Speedway, Crawfordsville Road, east of Cunningham Road. That's a hit and run. Traffic sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score deep discounts and deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Get up to 60% off select mattresses and more, plus get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers will be more spotty this evening. Eventually, the chance of a few spotty flurries tonight. Lows near 30 degrees. Wednesday, isolated flurries. High temperatures in the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
The clock is ticking. Every minute, every second that goes by, we're getting closer to a brand new year. It's New Year's Eve. My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is filling in for Big Nige. Chris Hammer also in studio. And all afternoon, we've been doing a look back at 2024, the biggest stories, the things that made us laugh. Let's focus on the sports world in terms of Central Indiana for just a second here, because there were a lot of eyeballs on Central Indiana this past year. And look, IU, Purdue, each of their athletic programs made great runs. Notre Dame still making a great run. We'll get to all of that. But the biggest sports story, if we're being honest with ourselves, was the fact that Caitlin Clark brought her brand to the Indiana Fever and, in essence, saved the WNBA.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
And since then, she was named Time's Athlete of the Year. Now, some people might not have liked the interview she gave where it looked like she was kind of bowing down to white privilege or all that kind of crap, but her rookie year, man, it was wild because I've never seen so many jealous, catty chicks in one place, and that says a lot.
I actually went online after one game. It wasn't Chicago, it was somebody else, and they ripped on the city. One of the players ripped on the city, and I got in a back and forth with the WNBA player. You know,
Good for you.
And I'm like, what happened?
Not all heroes wear capes.
That's right. And she was mad at me. I was mad at her. But yeah, Caitlin, you know, Tiger Woods-ish, changing a sport around because I didn't know the WNBA existed for 18 years. Your point, though, about the Time magazine article, I know we want to be positive. What the heck? I mean, I almost feel like she did the interview 6 months ago and totally didn't read the room of where we are now. She didn't need to say that. But listen, we have a whole off season. She brought this city together while our other franchises are crapping the bed. And I can't wait to watch her next year.
So, Chris, Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, she talks about how she works hard. She has worked for everything she's received. But there's also a big but in there. She kind of talks about how white privilege and black players have built this league up. Do you think that's something she felt like she had to say to either make her corporate sponsors happy, because that's where her money comes from, or maybe she's hoping perhaps they won't elbow me in the throat next year when I come down the lane if I say this?
Right, I look at it both ways. I mean, I bet like her managers probably said it's probably not a bad idea for you to do this, money wise, because corporations love that kind of crap. And to your point too, she's probably like, if I say this, maybe people will stop elbowing me and all that. And after every game, she can have an incredible performance, but people will still talk just about the fact she's white. Maybe this will finally shut that narrative up a little bit too. But like, I see this thought process, but it's like, come on, really?
And it took all of one day for an Indy Star reporter to creep Caitlin Clark out. Her introductory press conference where the Fever were rolling her out to the masses for the first time. You've got Greg Doyle of the Indy Star. He does the heart gesture to her, and it's really weird. And from what I've been able to gather, like reporter friends that were in the room, Caitlin's dad was kind of bothered by it. Take a listen.
Hi, Caitlin. Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, let me do this.
Making the symbol.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Okay, well, let's start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine.
Start doing that to me and we'll get along just fine.
Yeah, tell me you're a guy who pees sitting down without telling me you're a guy who pees sitting down. That was, I was in Los Angeles watching that, and I felt so embarrassed for everyone involved with the local media because, it was a poor reflection on them.
Right.
Dude, that was bad.
And Chris, you hear me complain about the local media all the time and how soft they are. These people think they're the smartest, most entertaining people in the world. So here's Greg Doyle trying to be Mr. Funny Guy, Mr. Entertainment. I'm going to take this press conference over and make the heart sign. And you came off like a creeper. And ultimately, he was not allowed to cover the Indiana Fever games this past year. Imagine working for the Indy Star and saying, look, you're not somebody we want covering the WNBA. Like woke on woke violence here. The WNBA yelling at the Indy Star.
Yeah, that's rough. And I will say about Caitlin, she should take a page from Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift came out one time on her Instagram or whatever and said, I support Kamala Harris. I'm not a Catwoman. Okay, that was it. She didn't campaign for Kamala. I think Caitlin said her piece and leave it at that. Let's go win a WNBA championship.
Now, I've tried to get Caitlin Clark to come on this program, but she has politely declined. So the best thing we could do this past year was to have AI Caitlin Clark respond to Greg Doyle.
Hey Doyle, what the hell is wrong with you? Congrats on making my first press conference here all about you. It will be a cold day in hell before I ever make a heart-shaped signal with my hands toward you, if you are so hell-bent on me doing a hand gesture to you. Here's one. It's an extended middle finger, you aging, creepy weirdo. I'm surprised my dad hasn't came over here and beat that stupid goatee off of your smug, creepy face. You're old enough to be my dad, but perverted enough to be featured on Dateline NBC with Chris Hansen. On a creepy scale of 1 to 10, you come in at 14. You are in New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo and Jared from Subway territory. You're creeping everyone out with your bald head and antics. Why don't you go cheat on your wife again and write another article on it wanting sympathy? Kiss my Iowa ass, you pervert. Caitlin, out.
AI Caitlin coming in strong. Now, again, it's AI. It's not the real Caitlin Clark.
So, wait, was that the real Caitlin Clark?
Biggest sports stories in Central Indy. Caitlin Clark, the phenomenon, coming in at number 1. Number 2, man, I kind of went back and forth on this one because Purdue, Indiana, and Notre Dame, the 3 major big universities here, all had something interesting go on here. But I put Purdue making the championship game at number 2. Now, they had their doors blown off by a much better UConn team, Connecticut, but Purdue making it to the championship game. But Chris Hammer, I'm going to defer to you because the trained people rub you the wrong way.
They do rub me the wrong way because they are the mouthiest group of people, considering the fact that they haven't won anything. They haven't won a damn thing, nothing. And it's always, well, we're good this. We have Zach Edey that. Okay, well, you didn't win a national championship, so what does it matter?
Constantly calling Indiana little brother. It's IU sucks when the game tips off and all that kind of stuff.
And I hate those banners are dusty when they say that. Well, at least they have banners. That's more than you can say.
So Purdue making the championship game, number 2. Coming in at number 3, Jeff, I'll go into your wheelhouse here. The IU football program. They hire a new coach. He's cocky. He's kind of brash. He's telling everybody that, Purdue sucks and Michigan sucks. And he gets Indiana, IU football, into the college football playoff.
Obviously, this was the biggest story in Indianapolis this year. I don't know who put your list together. But, yeah, and listen, for anyone who doesn't know, Michigan just beat Alabama in a bowl game. If I remember correctly, Indiana beat Michigan, which means Indiana's better than Alabama. And who are the 2 losses that Indiana had this year? Who are the 2? It was Ohio State on a weird, bad weather game and Notre Dame on a really rough weather game. They're still alive in the college football playoffs. So there's a shot that we come in 3rd this year. And I'm excited about it. And everybody's coming. Most of the people are coming back. We got the kid from Cal at quarterback.
Good kid.
This is really, really exciting. And Signetti, that's what you need. You look at, the professional team here who doesn't change anything. Look what one change did to Indiana football, packed stadium.
And Notre Dame, they're still playing. They are in action tomorrow against Georgia in the college football playoff. We had a sunset Indy 500 this year. Big rain delay that happens during the day. We knew we were due for one. It'd been a number of years since there was a rain delay at the Motor Speedway, and it came down. But Chris, I was there. You were there. Your brother Jacob was there. Nobody left.
No, it was packed.
People were getting beach balls out in the rain. It turned into the world's biggest wet T-shirt contest.
It really did.
Nobody left, and Doug Bowl says we're going to run the race, and it's going to be the full race. And we got an amazing finish as the sun was setting in Indianapolis. This was the final lap, as called by some of my favorite people on earth, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network.
Side by side into one. They're side by side. Pato Award to the outside. He'll take the race lead. Award around Newgarden into turn 1.
And Pato Award has a 3-car length advantage over Joseph Newgarden. Newgarden trying to be the 6 back-to-back winners, but not if Pato Award has anything to say about it. He'll go extremely low down that back straightaway.
Pato Award snaking around, trying to irritate that air. Newgarden to the outside. Newgarden side by side has taken the lead in the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
He's got it out of the short chute. Newgarden by 3 car lengths, leading out of turn 4, Mark James.
Joseph Newgarden with a strong left into turn number 3. Pato Award makes a run, but he will not catch it. Joseph Newgarden goes back-to-back, wins the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
maybe this is just the Indiana in me coming out, but having that level of a finish while seeing the sun setting over the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it was like something from a Hallmark card.
It was. I mean, I think that's the best finish to an Indy 500 that I've personally seen in my life, and I've been going ever since 2014. So, and even 2014 was a great finish. But I hated it for Pato because I really wanted to see Pato win that, and I'm not the biggest Newgarden fan in the world, but that was a great finish all around, and all the fans that stayed definitely got rewarded with that.
Yeah, and I don't think many people left, Jeff. That's the thing. We were looking around. It was like 6:30, 7 o'clock almost, sun is setting, and the grandstands are all full.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch in I was in California at the time watching it throughout the day on TV. I will tell you this. One of the things I'm most excited about moving back to Indianapolis is getting the month of May in Indy in person.
Yes.
You know, I grew up going to the race with my dad, and I one year worked security on turn 4 the night before, and I learned a lot about life. But I just cannot wait to be back at the track in the month of May.
Real quick, I know we got to hit traffic with Matt Baer, but other things of note. Pacers run to the Eastern Conference Finals. We got Pacers and Racers back this year. The Colts drama, they're a mess. Olympic swimming. Like, they turned Lucas Oil Stadium into a massive pool, and it was cool. The NBA All-Star Game was here. Joe Hogsett screwed up the relationship with the city and the Indy 11. And the WWE signs a big deal with the city of Indianapolis to bring the Rumble and WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff here. So, awesome year for sports here in Central Indy. Matt Baer.
Crash north side, eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. Left lane is blocked and traffic is jammed back to Keystone Avenue. 16-minute delay. Crash Speedway, Crawfordsville Road at Cunningham Road. Traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
40 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. When we come back, the year in review continues, and we will check in with a certain United States president.
You know, the Social Security Trust Fund is expected to run out of money in less than 10 years. And according to Barron's, an average couple could lose up to $16,500 every year in Social Security income. Multiply that by 10 or 20 years, and it could easily add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why it's critical you have the right strategy to file for Social Security. Discover how you could squeeze every nickel out of your benefits with a free, customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill, and you can too. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-648-5120. Call Bill at 317-648-5120.
IT professionals, don't choose the wrong recycler. Choose Technology Recyclers for complete guaranteed data destruction. Why put your data at risk? You work too hard to experience a data loss by selecting the wrong recycler. Visit tech-recyclers.com. For all your home's heating, plumbing, and drain needs, remember the man for all seasons. Chapman. Furnace tune-ups right now, only $89. Schedule online today at chapmanheating.com. That's chapmanheating.com.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams. Read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing. Sponsored by Indiana 529.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
New Year's Rockin' Eve here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out. Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige, and Chris Hammer is here. And if we're going to do a year in review, I feel like it's only appropriate that we check in with a certain sitting United States president. Who might that be, Chris?
You would be referring to one Mr. Wheelin' Dealin', Hair Sniffin', Kiss Stealin' Joe Biden!
I got hairy legs. Take a test where you're taking cocaine. Come on, man. You ain't black.
Oh, it's been a crazy year for Joe Biden. There were downs. There were more downs. The only time he was up is when they gave him uppers. It was a wild year for that old goat. So let's kind of start with the State of the Union address, right? This is back when Joe Biden had every vision to be the next Democrat nominee, maybe go back to back on winning the presidency. But his State of the Union address was the first red flag for a lot of people to say, this dude is deteriorating quickly. So at one point, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is yelling out at Joe Biden because he's doing a victory lap on how safe the military's been and how secure the border has been, which are just nonsensical takes. But Large Marge yells at him about the name Laken Riley. She was one of the young ladies that was killed by somebody that just walked across Joe Biden's open border. So Biden tries to respond to Marjorie Taylor Greene, but gets the victim's name wrong.
Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop trying to bring your own family into this. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. The name was not Lincoln Riley.
No, it was not. I believe Lincoln Riley is a college football coach, not the person in question here.
Laken Riley lost her life. Lincoln Riley is the head coach at USC. So we kind of got off to a rocky start with the State of the Union address, okay? And at one point during the State of the Union, whoever was running his teleprompter just sped it up a little too much. And poor Joe didn't have the presence of mind to slow down and just address the situation. He tried to keep up with it, and he ended up sounding like the guy that used to do the Micro Machines commercial.
Because I invested in family products led by my Secretary of Agriculture.
Each one has dramatic details, terrific trim, precision paint jobs, plus incredible micro machine pocket place. That says a police station, fire station, restaurant, service station, and more.
Play that one more time, because listen to Joe Biden at the very beginning here, trying to keep up with the teleprompter.
Because I invested in family products led by my Secretary of Agriculture.
Each one has dramatic details, terrific trim, precision paint jobs, plus incredible micro machine pocket place. That says a police.
And Jeff, that should have been our first red flag, right? All right, bad State of the Union. This dude's a mess. Maybe we should start thinking about things.
Listen, I don't know what else you have coming up, but none of this is going to age well.
No. Let's go to the presidential debate. The presidential debate was the absolute moment that people like Joe Scarborough had been dreading. Morning Joe, who had gone on the air and said, Joe Biden's beyond cogent. This is the best he's ever been. I know the family. Mika knows the family. My God, he's as sharp as a tack. He's the best he's ever been. And this was what happened in the debate.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24% or 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare,
we finally beat Medicare. Did you get all that, Chris? Did you write all that down?
Yeah,
Did you get that?
We were taking notes. We got it down.
And later in that debate, this was, I think, the absolute moment where Biden's speaking gibberish. He's just talking to run out the clock, and then Trump just buries him.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
The underrated part of that clip is just the confused look on Biden's face as Trump says. He just looks over at him all like, who is this guy? It's hilarious.
We probably did not know who the guy was, to be fair, Chris.
Yeah, you wonder, of the big three, we have the only Rosie O'Donnell, we have Or You Be in Prison, and then that zinger right there. I don't know. I mean, I always partial toward only Rosie O'Donnell because that was the beginning.
Right.
But my goodness, for him to say, I don't think he knows what he said, is so great that it's just the big three.
All right, we've got so much Biden to get to. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to continue checking in with Joe Biden because, sweet Jesus, some of this stuff is too good not to play for you guys today. All right, more fun with Joe Biden coming up right after Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A cold start to the new year. 39 degrees and rainy in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar shows the rain's going to stick around pretty much the rest of your New Year's Eve. Low of 31 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. The start of next year is supposed to include colder temperatures and the chance for snow.
Early indications are we're going to have a lot of cold air in place, and we're going to have a system tracking somewhere across the middle of the U.S.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service says temperatures will start dropping tomorrow. Snow could even show up Thursday and Friday in the winter storm, something to keep an eye on further down the line. Could arrive midweek next week. President-elect Donald Trump has met with Washington, D.C.'s mayor. Fox's Alexandria Hoff reports.
Mayor Bowser said that she and President-elect Trump both want D.C. to be the best, most beautiful city in the world and for it to reflect the strength of the nation. Now, we have to look back, though. On the campaign trail, President-elect Trump routinely pledged to federalize D.C., calling the nation's capital a death trap and horribly run. Mayor Bowser said as recently as last month that planning was being done in the event that the district, quote, had to defend itself. In May, the House passed the D.C.'s Crime Act, which gives Congress more control over the way that D.C. handles crime. And earlier this month, Mayor Bowser testified before lawmakers, noting that this year violence has gone down.
Both Trump and Mayor Bowser have also appeared to agree on return-to-office mandates for all federal workers. If you support legalizing marijuana in Indiana, an advocacy group says you can help make it happen. Ryan Hedrick reports.
There's a stigma surrounding the legalization of marijuana, says Midwest Hemp Council President Justin Swanson, and overcoming it takes action.
Really, the only way to fix that is to make sure that any voters out there who this is a priority for them, you can't be in hiding and you can't just be posting on Facebook. You know, you need to have direct contact with your legislators. So first and foremost, we won't see movement until we see some pressure from voters.
Swanson admits it will be a tough road for Indiana to legalize marijuana in 2025. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas prices are projected to be lower in 2025 compared to last year, or rather this year still, across both Indiana and the rest of America. But Gas Buddies head of petroleum analysis Patrick DeHaan says supply and demand can always change things.
There's not a whole lot of consistency. Supply and demand is a huge issue. It changes every day based on things like weather,
There can be economic changes to that. That is, if the economy slows down, demand slows down.
DeHaan also believes there's going to be a drop in diesel prices as well. That could be to the benefit of truck drivers and those of you who work in agriculture. The traffic at 532. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, now looking at a crash. This is on southbound 465 on the exit to I-70. And we're just now getting this. It is an overturned vehicle. Looks like a truck of some sorts off the left side of the off-ramp. So please be careful when making your exit from southbound 465 to I-70 on the east side. We also have a crash coming into downtown southbound 65 at 21st Street on the right shoulder, causing stop-and-go traffic back to 29th Street. And a crash northbound Lafayette Road at I-65. Also a crash in Speedway, Crawfordsville Road east of Cunningham Road. There's a guy in the intersection directing traffic. Watch out for him. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers will be more spotty this evening. Eventually, the chance of a few spotty flurries tonight. Lows near 30 degrees. Wednesday, isolated flurries. High temperatures in the mid-30s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I got hairy legs.
Happy birthday, dear Valley. Katanji drowned Jackson.
So we are still checking in with Joe Biden because there is so much good stuff that we felt we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't bring it to you in this segment here. By the way, I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out. Jeff Boggs is here. Chris Hammer is here. And to catch everybody up, maybe you just got in your car. Maybe you had to work today and you're on your way home. We were talking about the disastrous State of the Union address and debate that Joe Biden had this past year. Here's a little montage of the debate in case you missed any of it.
What Mr. Trump left me. He created 15,000 new jobs. And,
You got a minute.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. The total initiative. The only terrorist who's done anything across the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person coming in his administration. I was recently in France, caused brain damage. This guy told Trump, do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think of Belarus? United Nations Security Council, we are the biggest producer. No president in our history has spoken like that before. But I do know he has a real problem. We saw people occupying they're trying to provide housing. These corporations that collude. The impact on the choice. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Very clear. Did you get all that, Jeff? Did you write all that down?
Unbelievable. And none of that is altered. I think it's important to say that's just taken straight from Joe Biden.
That's old wheeling dealing himself right there. We didn't do any AI. There's no alteration there. That's 100% Joe.
And you think about how a show like SNL or Kimmel or any late night show, they just didn't make fun of it. And how?
Exactly. And that's why I was telling you guys before, aside from the Democrats who had their asses handed to them this year, legacy media took the biggest shot because they were trying to protect this crap.
Exactly. One thing that really ruffled my feathers is after the first debate with Trump, when we obviously saw Biden on the national stage fumbling up there, we've known that he was like this forever. But the way the media acted after the debate, like it was just, oh, this was out of nowhere. Like, where did this come from? It's been like that for years, and you're just now noticing that?
No, they're just admitting to it now. And nothing makes my cold, dark heart happier than seeing Joe Scarborough have to admit that he was wrong. It's the best Biden I've ever seen. Well, fast forward a few weeks after that disastrous debate, Joe Biden just up and quit on Twitter. On Twitter, Jeff. It wasn't like some sort of big speech from the White House or the Rose Garden. My fellow Americans, it's been brought to my attention that we need some new leadership in this country. Something. He just put out a tweet. Biden out.
When the movie is made, because the movie will be made, it's going to be, we're going to have to make sure that the right people make the movie, because I would love to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff of what happened, over those 12 weeks. Like, what we used to make jokes. Does he even know he's not in the race anymore? And you make a joke about it, but part of you's like, he actually may not know that he dropped out.
Right.
So it's, when that movie is made, it's going to be primary colors on steroids.
So after he quits on Twitter, he pardons his son, Hunter, pardons many folks on death row, including child killers. Now, Chris, I know you're younger, you don't have any kids, but imagine somebody you love is brutally murdered at the hands of a heinous monster, and you want them to receive the death penalty. That was on the table, and you said, that is what I want because I think that's justice. And Joe Biden, or the people pretending to be Joe Biden, come along and take that off the table. How would you feel?
I'd be outraged. I mean, this is ridiculous. The people that he's pardoning here right now, like, if I was that parent, I don't know what I would just be so outraged. I wouldn't even know what to do.
And the thing that's weird to me, Jeff, is that, all right, there were 3 people that he did not pardon. 2 of them very high profile, the Boston Marathon bomber and Dylan Roof, the white supremacist that shot the predominantly black church in South Carolina. Why are they different than anybody else? If you have a belief that the death penalty is wrong and you don't believe in it, it feels like it should be all or nothing here, right?
Well, I mean, if you look at, okay, let's just do incarceration rates across the country, and you look at the demographics that stopped voting for Democrats this year, this is why. I think they're sick of being told, we're fighting for you, and then, Biden kind of pardons his people. And so
right.
It's something that's going to have a much bigger lasting impact, I think, than people maybe want to admit, because all it is a campaign ad. In 2 years during the midterms, or in 4 years. It's like, they do this. Why do you want to vote for that again?
Checking in with Joe Biden, his crazy year. It wouldn't be a Joe Biden segment if we didn't check in with the gibberish man.
And now, time for another conversation with Gibberish Man. He's the gibberish man, he's the gibberish man. He talks in gibberish, gibberish man. Oh, you can't understand the gibberish man, cause he talks in gibberish, gibberish man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gibberish Man.
Beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this fine. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lake.
No, you can't understand the gibberish man, cause he talks in gibberish, gibberish man.
Beer brew here, brew beer here. Ooh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, that's one clip. Maybe he had a bad day. Allison?
And now, time for another conversation with Gibberish Man. He's the gibberish man, he's the gibberish man. He talks in gibberish, gibberish man. Oh, you can't understand the gibberish man, cause he talks in gibberish, gibberish man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gibberish Man.
Great to have you here, and it's very happy to see Northern Ireland's Executive Assembly reinstated last month. Now Northern Ireland is a fully functioning government again, and I didn't admit your colleague. Young people in Northern Ireland represent the great peace dividend of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement.
No, you can't understand the gibberish man, cause he talks in gibberish, gibberish man.
Chris, you're going to Ireland here in about a year. I want you to learn that speech, and the day that you get there, I will rent a podium and a microphone, and I want you to speak to the townspeople and recite that exact same speech.
I'm sure that would go over well with the people, the great people of Ireland over there. I'm sure a real thorough message will be received by them when I do that.
Joe Biden had a lot of coughing fits this past year, Jeff.
Yep.
And they weren't just coughs like, oh, I've got something in my throat. They were gross, wet coughs.
Sure.
Like, we would always put that on the bingo card whenever there was a speech. Gross, wet cough.
Mm-hmm.
It might as well have been a free space. This was something that he was doing recently. I think he was recently in North Carolina.
I'm already joined. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, I think you do. Joe, got a little bit of a cold there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm a big fan of the wet cough. I think, throughout comedy, throughout history, anytime you can make somebody laugh and then go into a wet hacking cough, you did your job.
Yes.
Nigel did it a couple weeks ago. I thought it was great. He asked me something about a drone, and I watched it back, and he did the big laugh into a wet cough. And
Sometimes there's a wet vomit afterwards.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Multiple times, Jeff.
I didn't know that. Do you remember listen, all of Biden's coughs are what they are. It's ridiculous. The man is very sick. Remember Hillary's cough that she couldn't stop? That 1 year where it was so embarrassing.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm going to stop you right there because Hammer and Nigel Records put together an amazing tribute to Hillary's campaign coughing fit. We call it Thunder Cough.
When we were trying to figure out where we could be, we all said, let's go to Cleveland. And I want to thank Congresswoman Marcia Fudge for hosting us. Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic. Boy. Excuse me. Well, thank you.
No, you just pulled that out of the air?
That's something we've had in the archives. Yeah, we've been having fun with Thunder Cough for a while, but I knew where you were going.
And so Allison had to find it right away, right?
Yes.
Nice work, Allison.
Now, it's not quite Thunder Cough, but going back to Joe Biden's North Carolina gross wet cough, there were a couple times where the cadence sounded familiar to me. Having some fun with you guys. It's the Year in Review show. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
The holidays are over, and the new year is here, making it the perfect time to think about the future. More specifically, it's the perfect time to think about your financial future. Right now, Howard Bailey Financial is offering a free retirement toolkit, a comprehensive guide designed to help you plan, save, and jumpstart the retirement you deserve. To get your free copy today, text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 and download your free retirement toolkit. Start 2025 off with a gift to yourself, filled with all the tools you need to plan for a positive and purpose-filled future. Just text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Make this new year your year to invest in yourself and secure a brighter tomorrow, starting today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
2025, new year, maybe a new home? If you're ready to get started building your dream home, take a look at what Joyner Homes can do for you. Joyner Homes will be at the Indianapolis Home Show from January 17th through the 26th in booth number 459. This is a great opportunity for you to learn more about their streamlined custom home building process and meet the team members who will work directly with you throughout the entire home building journey. Your dream home made simple with Joyner Homes. JoynerHomes.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special only $49.99 guaranteed. Also, lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Thursday, January 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m., stop smoking seminar at 8. Or Saturday, January 25th at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
I'm going to let you in on a little wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile have convinced you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data plus hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say switch now to save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of becoming part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Baer, goes without saying that I hope folks have Uber, Lyft, Friends, cab companies on speed dial just in case. We say this every year, but somebody's going to make a bad decision tonight, you know?
Update your ride share apps right now and update your credit card information, all that, because that will help and make sure you are not in a spot tonight. East side crash on the exit ramp from southbound 465 to eastbound 70. A truck rolled off the left side of the ramp. It is overturned. The ramp is open, partially blocked. Also a crash on the northwest side, Eagle Creek Parkway, north of 38th Street. Crash southbound Keystone Avenue before 30th. Crash northbound Lafayette Road at I-65. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Light rain 40 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Let's go. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So let me defer this to the youngest one in the studio, Chris Hammer. What do you know about Y2K?
I know it was an event where people were freaking out because basically they thought the world was going to end just because the year was going to roll over to 2000.
So you were born in 2004.
Yes.
4 years after the hysteria. The reason we bring this up, this is the 25th anniversary of Y2K. Did you do anything nuts back in the day? Did you hoard the toilet paper or get into like a bomb shelter or do any of that stuff?
Not really. I was working at MTV. I was producing the Tom Green Show. So we were at 1515 Broadway. There were people who were nervous, you know, but it was kind of like, I don't know, just maybe write stuff down, you know, that you have to remember passwords. But nobody knew. And I flew back to Indy for New Year's and, you know, nothing happened.
Because the fear was all these computers, when the numbers of the dates reset to 0, like the year 2000, it was going to make planes fall out of the sky and nukes were going to fly off and just, you know, explode on their own. And people bought into it, man.
Yeah, but is it that crazy? I mean, you look at today and I'm like, yeah, that could have happened. What's interesting is today with AI, the development since, you know, the year 2000, I feel like today it probably could happen. Back then, maybe the computers weren't quite smart enough yet.
But the thing is, and this is what really breaks my heart, because if we're being honest with each other, as people, we haven't learned a damn thing. Like, we freak out when we think bad things are going to happen. What happens when there's a big winter storm on the way?
People hoard the milk and bread. No milk and bread to be seen at the grocery store.
What happened during COVID?
No toilet paper to be seen whatsoever.
Right. We have not learned a damn thing. If we think something the slightest bit scary may happen, we are going to become hoarders. It's what we do.
Right. Listen, I'm freaking out right now because I saw the weather forecast for the second week in January, and they're promoting the polar vortex. So I'm trying to figure out heated socks, and I may start hoarding tonight, to be honest.
Great moments in polar vortex history. If you remember, that is when Jussie Smollett was attacked by 100% definite Donald Trump MAGA supporters and what we believe to be MAGA country of the hood of Chicago.
And he had to overturn this year, right? So that's good for him. He got out of it.
He got away with that.
What a weasel.
He pulled it off. Like the judge was lecturing him. Everybody was laughing at him, but because it's Chicago, where hell, their government officials get locked up on the regular, he was able to skate. But when you sit back and think about things, and we do this a lot, sometimes you have to say things out loud to realize how ridiculous it is. We were expected to believe that in the middle of a polar vortex in Chicago, with lake effect snow and wind, in the wee hours of the morning, Donald Trump fans, which you often find in the hood of Chicago in the wee hours of the morning, are going to beat up a dude, but he's still going to have the wherewithal to keep his Subway sandwich intact.
Yeah, something was fishy right away. Something definitely was fishy. And then when we saw the pictures of why did he keep the rope around his neck? Like, why do you wait for the cops to show up? That'd
be like the first thing I would take off. Like, if I had a rope on my neck, call me crazy, I'd take it off pretty quick.
And can I compare and contrast Jussie Smollett's story with a picture of him with the rope on his neck compared to LeBron James, who says at his house in Beverly Hills that's on camera, somebody wrote a racial slur on his garage, but there were no pictures of it?
Right.
Something's off on both of those.
Jeff Boggs is here. Chris Hammer is here. Let me go around the horn here. We got about a minute left here. Allison, any big goals for 2025? Anything you want to accomplish?
I would say just grow a little more in my radio career a little bit and be more involved with you guys, which I'm grateful to be a part of, and just keep going on, keep going on.
You a resolution guy, Boggs? Got any plans?
Well, I mean, for those who follow me on Twitter, I just hit my 300th McDonald's visit today. So thank you to everybody who weighed in. But more importantly, thank you to Jason Hammer and Nigel and everybody for having me on this year. I was nervous coming back from California. You guys have made the transition very enjoyable. Thank you.
Chris Hammer?
I would like to continue being the best person in the history of the world. Thank you very much.
That's great.
Wow.
That's a politician speech right there. Man, I'm just grateful that you guys all hang out and listen to this little pony show we put on every afternoon. Another year where this program was #1 in afternoon drive in all the key demos. We work with some awesome people. Matt Bear in the traffic department. Allison, God bless you for putting up with all of our crap. Harrison Silcox in the newsroom, all of our news team, and our great team of fill-in hosts. Jeff Boggs, Guy Relford, too many to name, Jerry Lopez. You guys are the best. God bless. Be safe. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, my name is Carter Booker, and I'm a member of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church. I came to Tab over 15 years ago looking for a group of people who took seriously the teachings of Jesus, especially the teaching that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. What did I find? I found a community giving their resources to support a local school, to strengthen the health and well-being of a neighborhood, to mentor and guide young people through athletics, and the list could go on and on. If you believe it is important to love your neighbor, then Tab is the place for you. I'm Carter Booker, and I invite you to come and see for yourself.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis.